knot in my back. It's driving me crazy. All right. Anyway, we are doing a get ready with me today, and we're gonna have fun. I'm gonna try something interesting. With my makeup, so that's pretty much that. I hope everybody's okay today. I hope everybody's doing great. And that's pretty much that. I don't know what else to say. Let's have some fun. Now, oops, that's not loud enough. There you go. My chat is open. I'm just gonna get my image of reference on the side. I'm gonna try something today. I'm gonna try something. I hope it works. Hope it works. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be sad. We'll see. We shall see. But I have my little mood board here, if I can call it that. My little reference image, and I'm like, basically, just to show you guys, this is my mood board for today's makeup. This, and this. We're going towards something like that. So pray for me. All right, without further ado, let's get this started. Sheesh. Oh, by the way, this is muted because I always get copyrighted for it, so I'm just waiting for the music to be over.
We were on TikTok the other day, and we keep getting these TikTok videos of shirtless Ned. You're wondering, who's Ned? Why is he shirtless? Ned Fulmer, as in the former Try Guy, casted out for his cheating scandal. That Ned Fulmer, he's shirtless, and he's in this ring full of sweaty men, and he's touching these other sweaty men. He's wrestling. I don't know why he's wrestling. And my husband was like, who is he again? And I'm like, it's Ned Fulmer. And then pulling up my phone, I go ago. And then he goes, wait, so this is his wife? I'm like, ex-wife. He's like, wait, so he cheated, but they're doing a podcast. I'm like, how do you not know anything that's going on? So this entire episode is dedicated to my husband. What do you know about the situation?
He cheated. Huh? And they broke up, right?
So that's what today's episode is going to be about. And I do want to say that our YouTube feeds are just so drastically different because I don't know how he doesn't know the entire lore of what happened in 2022. The Harry Styles concert, the pictures, the old BuzzFeed videos, the deleted Anyway, because every time we're on YouTube, like we'll be showering and he will be on his YouTube. He'll be looking at other videos. I'll be looking at other videos. They don't have a single overlap, except yesterday. I will say we did watch a very interesting video together.
Okay.
I mean, I know something's happening.
Do you remember that you pitched yourself to Pantene?
Okay, to be fair, I didn't pitch myself. I told them.
Can you press play?
Okay.
Wait, can I see?
Before I restart it, can you just please look at this? Do you know how many times I felt this feeling? Or like when you go into the drain and then you pick up the wad of hair? Listen, panic. I'm playing from the start. Presented by PNT Pictures. This feels...
Do you ever feel like everywhere you look, it's there? Like you can't escape it?
Is everything all right?
I think I'm losing it. At first you brush it off, thinking that it'll pass.
This is so dramatic.
Day
For a
after
hair
day.
video.
Okay, going on. But like, do you know, sometimes my hairbrush, I get so embarrassed by it. I used to have to hide it away because of the amount of hair that would be stuck in there.
Until it's all you see. You'll have to do something. Where is it coming from?
Coming to a shower near you. A story of unbelievable strength.
This is ridiculous.
It's everywhere.
Her hairbrush is... Ooh.
The shedding.
The shedding.
This is kind of...
Okay, there's more.
Okay.
Check the computers, okay?
Check the drawer. Is it that side? Okay, ready?
Going to shoot
What is it?
string of edges that I have.
All I ever get are like exhibits. Oh, I know this. I know that feeling. This feeling is the worst feeling because not only do you not understand why you have so much hair that's coming out of the shower, but also now your drains are clogged. That looks exactly like what my hair used to be like. And the pillow one? Are these evidence photos? Today's video is brought to you by Pantene. I've always wanted to do that. Have you seen their commercials? Oh my god, the way Pantene makes their commercials is the coolest thing I saw behind the scenes. And you have a green man in a green suit that does this for you. Because you want to see all the locks, but it's not as cool when I do it with my own hands. However, if you were in a green suit, like a green screen, oh.
I mean, it looks really good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your hair looks really good too. I wish I could show you. He uses my shampoo. Okay, we started using Pantene and he uses my shampoo and then he I think he got into it because he started brushing his hair. I've never seen this man. I've never seen him brush his hair in his life. But I will say today's video is brought to you by Pantene. Looking at those evidence photos that we just saw yesterday, it makes total sense why Pantene created the abundant and strong system. When you use the whole system together, you actually see less hair falling out. When I see hair falling out, I start getting in my head and I start feeling stressed about it. And then I start thinking about it throughout the day. And then you always want to clear out the hair in the drain or when you're brushing it, you want to clean up the hair on the bathroom floor. And so you notice if it's a big amount of hair or if it's a smaller amount and then you start over analyzing. I will say that my hair started looking and feeling a lot fuller. You
Good
give
for
it
you,
6
girl.
weeks and your hair becomes stronger and
Get that
denser.
bag.
It's not this
That
magical
content bag.
transformation overnight, but it just feels like a very noticeable, real shift that you can feel every time that you're brushing your hair, every time you're cleaning out the shower drain of all the loose hair pieces. After going through this evidence, I feel like we still don't have the full story. And luckily, Pantene created one. There is a full horror-inspired trailer called The Shedding that supposedly ties all of this together. So in the next video, we're going to watch the trailer and finally see what this evidence is leading up to. So to learn more about Pantene's new Abundant and Strong, I feel like I need a green screen, man. To learn more about Pantene's new Abundant and Strong collection, search for Pantene Abundant and Strong. Thank you, Pantene, for partnering on this video and for creating a system that helps people feel supported on their hair journey. And don't forget to follow along with hashtag Abundant and Strong. We're just getting started. Where do you go?
Wow. Congratulations, Stephanie, for feeling abundant and strong with your hair journey. And while she's talking about her hair journey, I want to say that I have a different system. I bought products from a black-owned brand called Baskin Ladder. And I fucking love it. I got a whole bundle of products from them. The rest is in my shower because it's a shampoo, a conditioner, and a deep conditioner. But this is what I've been using lately, and that's why my head is so hydrated. That's all I have to say. This is not sponsored, by the way. I just love to... No! Oh my god. I just love to promote black-owned brand. Back to the show!
If you want to commit some nasty, disgusting, filthy moral crimes in a Poochie outfit, nasty in a Poochie outfit, you're committing some crimes, where do you go? Give me
Also, I
the
suck
top
at doing
3
my
places
edges, so
that
don't
you
come
would
for me.
go. It's not
I don't have air.
illegal. It's just morally, ethically not allowed. Where do you go to commit these types of crimes? Where do you go? Okay, here's where I would go. I would go to an alleyway in New York
I will
City,
go
like one of
visit
those
Dominique.
small side streets, and I would be with a group of people because you don't commit moral crimes alone. That's too much for your moral compass. You got to have a group so that you can split out the accountability. You go with the group. You're standing there in the alleyway and you're comparing the fucking condiment bowl that you just stole from the diner that you really shouldn't have stolen, but maybe you're a little drunk and you don't get drunk often, and so you stole it. And you you know
committing? Is
what?
she
You looked
confessing to
into
a
it, and this
crime?
restaurant is not owned by a mom and pop shop. Okay, this is like a corporate. It's a cheesecake factory. I stole the basket of bread from the cheesecake factory. Fucking sue me. That's probably illegal, actually. Okay, but I stole it. They said it's free bread. I took the basket. Are you mad? Probably.
I
But
couldn't
now I'm
care
in this
less.
alleyway, nasty, in a Poochie outfit, and I'm asking every single person, did you guys happen to bring a dog? You're like, what dog? I'm like, oh, never mind. It's just a rat gnawing on my pants then. I really thought this through. I thought through everything. And then we go, ah! And we run. And I drop my bread basket that I just stole. And when I get back home, I don't have the bread basket that I committed moral crimes with. Because that's what I get. That's karma.
Okay.
So if you want to commit nasty, unethical crimes, you go to Cheesecake Factory and then you go to a little side street in New York City. You don't go, however, you do not go to a Harry Styles concert.
Yeah, I knew
Harry
she was gonna go
Styles
to something like that.
concerts are strictly for a few things. You go to a
Cheaters?
Harry Styles concert for good music. You go to a Harry Styles concert if your name is your name and you're trying to get kidnapped. That's it. Those are the only two reasons. There's no other reason to go to a Harry Styles concert. And it's definitely the last place you want to go if you're cheating on your wife and kids and you decide, why don't I just go out with my mistress for a fun little date at a Harry Styles concert?
Wait, what was the one that went viral?
This is Ned Fulmer. This is Ned.
No. I know Ned Fulmer.
Coldplay.
Oh, that's a
Coldplay.
Oh,
Coldplay
yeah, that's
concert.
You
Coldplay.
don't
That
go
one
to a
was
Coldplay concert
hilarious.
either. You just don't go to a concert.
Is that the only two?
Yeah, Coldplay, Harry Styles.
Think so.
Dang, it's the concerts.
It's
huh?
I don't know why people would think it's safe either.
Yeah.
I don't get it. You're
like-
in
Because
like
there's a lot of
It's
people.
stadium.
Exactly. You're surrounded by
You're
thousands
surrounded
of
by
people.
people.
And thousands
so
of
they
people
think
with their
that,
phones
they
up, like
can-
recording the whole experience
Yes.
too. So I
Yeah.
really don't understand. No, that's weird. That's crazy.
So ballsy.
Where would you go if you were cheating?
In the 21st century,
Yeah.
with the amount of cameras that's out there
Right.
and the cell phones
Yeah.
out there, how could anybody cheat? Everything
what
is
I'm saying.
everything. You have a digital footprint. There's receipts on everything you do.
They are.
Every message, every phone call,
CCTV.
every you
Even
know,
every look.
Every what?
look.
every look.
Like imagine you're like looking at a neighbor while you're opening up the front door and you're checking out her butt. I'll be watching on the camera. I'll be watching on
That's
the
what I'm
camera.
saying, the
We have a little
CCTV.
snack bar outside for the delivery drivers, and we be watching. Because every single time my family members come over, why are they walking away with groceries? Why are they walking away with enough snacks for the entire week?
It's Mia.
Oh my god, I wish I could show you this video. So we told my nieces, hey, this little snack thing outside, this is strictly for delivery drivers. I got two nieces, okay? And the oldest one, Sophie, she's like a rule follower. She's kind of like me, where she's like, okay, if an adult told me not to do it, I'm probably not gonna do it, which means she's gonna get rebellious later. But right now, she follows the rules. So they come in one
For
day from
now.
the front door, and we see Sophie run
teenage
past the
crisis
snack
when it
bar.
hit.
Also, just so everyone knows, Sophie is like almost 5.
Mia is 4.
Almost 4.
Yeah. And then Mia comes running in, and we had to replay this footage because her left hand, without even looking at the snack bar, chucks a bag of snacks, and then she runs into the house. She doesn't look at the snack bar. She doesn't pick and choose. It was like pure convenience. And she runs, it was so smooth. And then when she got in, everyone was like, where are we getting all these chips? And I was like, that's a good question. Check the camera. Anyway, everything is caught on film is what we're trying to say. You can't get away with anything in this day and age. Now, Ned Fulmer from the Try Guys is spotted with one of the producers of the Try Guys, the production manager for the Try Guys company, at a Harry Styles concert in New York City. Is that the craziest thing in the world? Maybe not. Perhaps not, okay? A fan runs into Ned and Alex at a Harry Styles concert,
Yo,
asks
that's
Ned
crazy.
for a photo because she watches the Try Guys. She's a fan of Ned Fulmer. Well, I don't know if she's a fan of Ned Fulmer, but she's a fan of the Try Guys. She takes this photo and then I guess she just feels weird about it because the whole thing about he's out at a Harry Styles concert with a producer. We don't see his wife anywhere. And then she said, okay, well, maybe it was like a work thing. So she's browsing online, watching all of their socials, and she doesn't see like this big group picture with all the Try Guys team at the Harry Styles concert, because I think that would explain away everything. If I'm not, I mean, this is me guessing and speculating, but perhaps it's like, it's the fact that the producer was annoyed when she approached Ned. Because that's very weird. Like, I guess I would imagine if I went out with someone from the Rotten Mango team and then we're like out on the streets of New York and we run into a viewer and they want to take a picture with me and the person who works with us is acting annoyed or seems annoyed. I feel like that would be very odd behavior.
Not necessarily. No, not everybody likes to be approached in public, honey. Personally, I would probably be the one looking annoyed, like, can we just go to a concert in peace? But that's just me, though. I don't know.
It's like, okay, well, this is the reason we have jobs. So, like, why are you annoyed? It doesn't make any sense. Like, this is just odd. It's weird. Yeah. And then so she's browsing online and she does see that other producers from the Try Guys team did go to a Harry Styles concert in New York City. But, like, you know how a lot of concerts, like, they have the Friday night show, Saturday night show, sometimes the Sunday show. They don't see a whole group photo with Ned and Alex with the other producers. So they just thought it was weird. They posted. A lot of people think, okay, well, maybe this is like our constitutional right as an American to just overthink shit, to make shit up online and forget about libel and defamation. And we just be having speculations. We be having allegedly, in my opinion, Your Honor. I said allegedly, Your Honor. Like, we're just having those moments online. But then people start digging up stuff from the Try Guys subreddit, because I would say the initial reaction everybody's having is, no, you don't get it. Ned's the wife guy. They call him the wife guy because the other Try Guys have personalities. Ned, there are literal compilations of him going, my wife, 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 my wife. His whole shtick is that he has a wife and he has 2 children. And like, that's the only reason I think Ned Fulmer is palatable.
Wow. About to off-road it.
Genuinely, it's like the only reason he has any redeeming qualities, because I would say that he's like the least charismatic out of the Try Guys.
What are you trying to say, bruh?
I mean, I wouldn't even say that it compares. He doesn't really have charisma. It's just he's so obsessed with his wife that maybe that's his charisma. And so people are like, no, there's no way. But then someone digs up a post from a year ago. People are going crazy on the Try Guys subreddit. Listen, subreddits are terrifying places. The Try Guys subreddit, September 2022, I bet you it gave them like heart palpitations. Like, there's no way that they did not experience medical emergencies because of the subreddit. Like, I don't believe it. Anyway, they dig up another post from a year ago. So now we're talking a post from 2021 from the Try Guys subreddit. And it's talking about how, hey, you know that whole guy whose whole shtick is, I love my wife and kids. He was hitting on my friend at the bars in New York City. So people are like, what do you mean? Tell us more. What do you mean Ned Fulmer was hitting on your friend? He's got a whole wife that he's obsessed with. Have you seen the videos? My wife, my wife, my wife. Have you seen that? And so they elaborate. And this is like an unverified, unconfirmed, could be making it out of their ass. They could be having delusions of grandeur in their head and they're typing it out on Reddit, because that's what we do on Reddit. That's like in our Bill of Rights as an American. We make shit up on Reddit. So they're like, okay, so this is what happened. My friend was dancing at the bar and he just kept trying to kiss her neck. Kept trying to get her to grind on him. And she kept trying to move away, but he kept being like, you want to come back to my hotel? Hey, I'll give you backstage passes to our show tomorrow. Because I guess the Try Guys were in town for a show tomorrow. And the commentator is like, and so the whole rest of the night, I'm trying to rack my brain around what the fuck are people paying their show for? Like, why are they going to their show? What could they possibly be doing at their show? Which is oddly rude for a post like this, but came out of nowhere. So this is unverified. People ripped them apart in the comment section because this is from 2021.
They ripped the poster apart.
Yeah, they're like, what do you mean? He's not, there's no way. Like, maybe you thought it was a different guy. Okay, it's not Ned Fulmer. Maybe he just looked like Ned, which he just looks like a whatever dude. So like, probably just looks
like
like
a generic
Ned. They
white
all
man.
kind of look like that.
Ned has a relatively longer distance between his nose and the top of his forehead, which is not considered to be most conventionally attractive. Ned has the softest jawline of all the men, which makes him the most desirable in terms of long-term partnership.
It all makes sense now. So if somebody says you look like you're married, it makes total sense.
Then this gets redug up and people are like, wait a minute, perhaps it could have been Ned. And then another post, September 2022, starts going viral. Multiple people have seen Ned around New York City this week, making out with women at the local bars. It's unfortunate for Ariel, his family, and the Tri-Team, but this is true. People are like, but how do we know it's true? So one of the top comments for that post was saying something along the lines of like, source, I made this up. Being like, you don't even have proof and you're just making stuff up. Source, me. Source, my brain. Like that type of comment.
Ooh.
The poster of that and that person start DMing, private messaging, and they start sending all sorts of proof, such as this picture. This picture does not come out for a little while, so this is why things get confusing. But there is a picture that now we have probably all seen is of Ned at a bar making out with Alex, the producer. And people have cross-referenced the dress that she's wearing with the dress that she's already worn on her Instagram with her purse. It's a purse that she owns. Ned looks like he's wearing the same thing that he's worn in other clothes.
Clear? You can see their features, or
yeah.
And there were people around them in a public bar.
It's like full to the brim with people. Just watch out because there are allegations they were doing it in a Tesla. Hold on, it gets crazy.
What is that?
No, it gets so psychotically bizarre. Okay, so all we know now is like this picture hasn't come out yet. We just keep hearing whispers on the subreddit of proof and like someone sent proof and like all of these things are all happening at once. And
That
then
is crazy, huh?
Yeah.
They're just like full on making out
Full
in a
on.
public ass bar.
yeah, and there's other pictures that get submitted later from earlier where they're eating lunch
I'm so confused.
on the side of the street in New York City. Like, you
Like
know
they
this?
don't even wear sunglasses, a hat.
No. Okay, so there's this
Nothing.
picture of them eating lunch in New York City, and it's, you know how like those little cafes, they'll have like the outside seating, and it's like apart from the restaurant anyway, and it's like two people on, it's like a bistro sitting, so it's like one person, and they're all smushed together. Well, it's a picture, so you see all of their bodies, you see the whole table, you see underneath the table and everything, because it's just on the streets of New York City. What do you mean, right?
They're just playing footsie.
No, and this is what's crazy. Just judging from the body language of that photo.
They're doing that.
No, it's not that they're doing it. See, that's the weird thing. It's not a sexual photo. It's not like a hot and steamy photo.
But
Oh, this photo makes me mad. Okay, it's like you can tell that they're very comfortable with each other. And the part that's worse about that is the fact that, like, at what point do you get comfortable enough with the person you're having an affair with to sit like that at a dinner or like at a lunch?
So how are they sitting?
Okay, so Ned is sitting there and he's leaned back against the chair and his legs are completely outstretched. So he's all up in her table space, which you only do that if you're very comfortable with the person, or if you're like the biggest douchebag in the world and everyone hates you and no one will ever sit and eat lunch with you ever again.
Like his legs are under her seat.
Like it's spread wide open, so it's not under her seat, but it's like her legs are in between his legs, but like not in like a sexual way. Does that make sense? Because it's like a small table, and then she's sitting there, and then they look really comfortable in the sense of like they're both on their phones. Now there's speculations that they could be looking at menus because New York City fucking loves doing those QR code menus that will be the death of every single person alive. Okay. Genuinely the worst. It's especially the worst when they like print out the QR code. Now I'm like, you're not even really saving paper. You like printed out all these QR codes and you laminated them all, and now you got QR codes floating around everywhere. And then sometimes it doesn't load quickly.
Thank you for the
Well, hot
follow,
take.
the
I like the
Mitri
digital
one.
ones.
You like a QR code
Yeah,
menu.
because it's like so much easier to zoom in and stuff.
What?
I mean, I don't disagree.
No, but then it like disappears. So you're waiting. Okay, you go to the QR code menu and then you pick out the things that you want, and then you're so anxious because the server is gonna come and take your order, and you're like practicing in your head. Okay, but then you're like, okay, I don't want to be so anxious. I gotta think about other things. So then you're like, go to your email and you're responding to emails or whatever, and then they come and they're like, oh yeah, what do you want? And I'm like, oh my god. And then I go to Safari, but then my little thing is gone. So I'm like, oh my god, do I need to scan the QR code again? It's just not loading because the service is bad. So then now I'm like panicking.
It's not that deep, baby girl. Damn.
Sorry, that's what you're battling.
Every time that you're not there and I gotta order for myself, that is the experience, okay? And then sometimes if it's like, you know how you put a privacy screen on my phone? And you were like, honey, you need a privacy screen. So then you put that on my phone. Then you can't even be like, can I get this one? And then especially if you're like at a French restaurant and you're like, what's a Vichy sauce? You know what I mean?
A what now?
And then sometimes the servers are nice and they go,
That's not
ooh,
French.
that's a good one. And they'll write it down. Or they go, a what? And then you have to go, a Vichy sauce. And they go, a Vichy sauce. And you go, isn't that what I just fucking said?
That's not French
no,
either.
I'm sweating thinking about this. I'm so stressed.
Why are you so red?
I'm so stressed.
That's crazy. What the
No, I
fuck?
hate the QR code menu.
That poor waiter.
Someone's gonna put in the comments like a really reasonable explanation of why QR codes exist, and I'm gonna feel like a shit person. So, okay, maybe they're good. I don't know. Anyway, some people are like, Alex and Ned are reading the menus on their phone. That's why they look so comfortable. Other people are saying, no, they're texting their spouses.
Damn.
Either way, it's bad. It's bad. So at this point, Ned is just not in any of the Try Guys stuff since all of this starts blowing up on Reddit. We don't have that picture from the club out yet. We don't have confirmation.
So all rumors.
All rumors.
Allegations.
But the allegations are semi-confirmed by the fact that Ned's not in any videos. Ned's not in any Instagram posts. He is in one promotional video where it's of all the Try Guys doing something for Food Network. But that seems like it was filmed a long time ago because the Food Network thing has been in the works for a really long time. And it almost seems like an obligation that they have to post it for the Food Network. But other than that, he's not on the Tripod. The podcast, the Try Guys have a podcast. The Tripod. I know their naming is like really good. Like a tripod. He's not on there. And in fact, the next episode is Zach, one of the Try Guys. He's talking about his week and he says, you know, I'm okay, but I'm surviving. Like it's been a rough week, but I'm surviving. And everyone's like, what are you surviving? Because we have ideas, but are we correct?
When I tell you that, like, I've had a rough week.
The Try Wives, they also have their own podcast. You Can Sit With Us, which Ariel is also a part of, but she just vanishes from the podcast episodes. So does Ned. Ned's not on the tripod. So we know that something is happening before we know that something is happening. And if you know what's happened in 2022, you know that everyone does come out and they confirm the cheating and it's like a big explosion on YouTube. But before we get there, I have to talk to you about where we are now. So fast forward 3 years later into the good old year of 2025. And it's like, have you ever gone onto a YouTube channel and it's like a corporate erection? I don't have any other words to describe it. It's just what a video feels like.
Corporate erection?
Yeah. It's like a corporate hard-on. It's like a guys in suits in a boardroom that don't know anything about anything, and they're getting bonbons off of these types of videos. Even the banner for this YouTube channel reads, building a more curious world. I'm sorry, are you f***ing TED Talk? Okay, it's crazy. It's crazy. It just feels corporate. I can't stop doing the Courtney Cook look, okay? Just feels corporate. And there's videos that are being posted, and this is Ned Fulmer's rebrand. He comes back after this whole cheating scandal 3 years later. He's got 2 channels.
Damn, it's been 3 years?
It's been 3 years. It's been 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
He comes back. He has 2 channels. Rock Bottom with Ned Fulmer, which is his podcast channel. And then he has the Ned Fulmer channel. And this Ned Fulmer
He came
channel.
back with 2 channels?
2 channels.
Oh, shit.
2 channels. And this Ned Fulmer channel has been doing some dirty shit. Okay, so the recent viral video, I will say on there. By the way, he's buying views. Allegedly. Ooh, don't sue me for defamation.
Ouch.
I
Damn.
think, in my opinion, as someone who's been on YouTube for a minute, he's buying views. Or someone's buying views. Or someone's botting.
Why?
Because, you get a video with 1 million views and tell me why only 400 people have commented. And it's not like a lo-fi music playlist throw in the back type of video. Also, people are only watching him to hate watch. Usually when you have a hate watched video, you're gonna get so many comments. Yeah.
Okay.
No, the views don't make sense. 1 million people watched it and only 400 people have thoughts about it.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
Okay, and then there's another one where he says, I have MS. So he starts off this video, and this video has recently gone viral, where he's gonna walk 50 miles from Los Angeles to Disneyland to raise awareness for the National MS Society, which he feels very emotionally tied to this entire organization because he was diagnosed with MS back in 2013. He's since been in remission, and he starts walking from Los Angeles to Disneyland, and it's like a you can't stop walking type of thing.
Wait, what is MS? I feel like I've seen it in Dr. House years ago, but I don't remember what MS is. What is MS? MS illness. Multiple sclerosis is a chronic autoimmune disease where the immune system mistakenly attacks myelin, the protective coverage of nerves in the central nervous system. That's very medical. Interesting. All right. Cool. I mean, not cool.
Because that's how you raise awareness, and you're trying to raise money. I think he was trying to raise like $100,000. I think he raised like less than $1,000. It was really bad.
What?
Ouch.
He starts making friends along the way as he's walking. Like there will be pit stops of people who were told to be there at a certain time, bring him food or talk to him while they're walking. And like that's cute. Like the friends he makes along the way are actually very cute. It's like the very wholesome part of the video.
Aww.
They seem like very sweet people. Then at night, he starts walking by himself, and he has to walk 50 miles. And as he's walking, vlog camera style, I gotta show you. And it's sad because, okay, he does have MS. It's not like he's lying about any of this, but a lot of people are upset with him because it seems like he's talking about it purely to make people feel sympathy, because he was diagnosed back in 2013.
Yeah.
A lot of people with MS say, hey, listen, MS is so bad, I would not wish this upon my worst enemy in life. Like, it is not something that you want. It's not something you want to get sympathy from people. Like, it's the worst thing ever. Like, you do not want this. It's bad. It's bad. However, MS does not make you cheat on your wife and children. So, like, we don't know why he's bringing it up now.
Hello, friends. I have hit 24 miles. Just the pain in my hips and my hip flexors is getting pretty bad. Yeah, I'm like feeling like I'm not able to walk straight anymore.
Bro, that feels like a ghost hunting video is what people were saying. Like, why is he crying and doing like dramatic Sam and Colby, like ghost hunter shit movie style? Like,
I hit 25 miles. Wow, I've been walking for 13 hours and 55,000 steps. Ow. I made it to 26.27.
I mean, that's
just
a lot.
To give you context,
I'm sorry,
a lot of
but I
people
would
say
never
like
do
26 miles is a regular marathon. So it's actually not like overexertion of your body, especially if you're an able-bodied person. So
I mean, walking to the bus stop is my limit.
That's amazing.
So like people just like making fun of him. Like this is like a really extra video.
yeah.
26.2 miles makes it really tempting to stop.
Like, have I had mental breakdowns such as this? Yes.
Yeah,
Over
every day.
absolutely nothing. Yes. But I don't know if like I would do this after a cheating scandal during a rebrand.
Exactly.
No, the watch that he just It's not funny. It's not funny.
I mean,
Okay,
it
I
kinda
think the problem
is.
is like he probably made it seem like it's such a
kinda
struggle. You guys
pathetic
should
and
feel bad,
sad.
Yeah.
but it's very hard to feel bad.
Because
For
I don't
him,
cry when I
yeah.
reach
It's
the
very
bus
hard to
stop.
feel bad.
Anybody else,
I can't breathe anymore because I've been fucking running. And I have to put my hands on my knees, and I try not to look like I'm not a fucking dying grandma with asthma. But still, I don't think I've ever cried. Unless it's -20 outside, then that's different because your eyes will tear up regardless whether you like it or not. Welcome to Canada.
probably would
Yeah,
feel
maybe I'll
bad.
care a little more, but like,
Yeah. Also, why are you in a fetal position?
Exactly.
Like next to a car dealership and a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, sir, we're just here to buy a Lexus. Like, why are you here right now? Not the
Let's do our
sad
makeup
music.
together. Very cool, MK.
Oh, this is the part people thought was so funny. He's showing off his foot.
yeah.
And have you ever met a guy? Okay, stop. Sometimes I will meet a guy. Not for like dating, okay, but I'll just meet a guy. It'll be like a family friend who comes over. And you ever see a guy with hands that are as pure as a baby's skin? I think it's crazy. I think it's incredible. Okay, so first of all, I know that you've never worked hard labor a day in your life, but not everybody has to. Not everybody
Exactly.
has to. But I also know that you've never built an IKEA bookshelf ever a day in your life. Okay,
Oh, that's
I
sad.
also additionally know
built so
that
many.
you've never washed dishes repetitively with high heat water, just getting in the soap suds, because that naturally does something to your hands. It strips it of its natural oils over time. It becomes a thing. I know that you've never done any of that. His foot is a representation. There's not a single callus.
I was expecting like there's some blood.
Wow. No, I'm sorry. This man is having pedicure, which is what you do when you can afford it. I can't. But like, that's a very nice feet. My feet are not like that. My feet are so sad. I remember the one time I got a pedicure, and when I took my socks off, not because my feet smell, they don't smell, but when I took my socks off, the lady was like, ugh. You know, that's what gymnastic and ballet will do to you. And also, I like to walk with no socks on when it's hot outside, when I go outside, which is rare. But back when I was a child and I used to actually go outside often and touch grass and see the sun, I would often, like, as much as I could, do it without anything on my feet. My feet can withstand the hot sand of a beach during a peak of summer. That's how much, like, I don't know what you call that layer of skin on your feet that, like, when you go to a pedicure, they like peel it off, and it's like scary, and it feel like you're shedding skin like a snake. I have a very thick layer of that on my feet. And for some reason, it makes me very proud because that means that I have lived a little bit. Again, back when I was younger, I don't really go outside anymore. How am I doing? I'm doing great. How are you? You should start an OnlyFans for his feet. It's crazy. I don't think he's that popular. I don't think people like him enough for that. I don't think it's worth that. I wouldn't pay for, I mean, I don't, you know what? It's funny because I actually, when I can afford it, I do like to support girls on OnlyFans or Fansly, just because I believe that sex work is work. And yeah, I admit it. I guess that makes me a gooner. But regardless, even my hard-earned money would not be used to pay for this man's fee.
At the bottom or something.
No, it's like perfect baby skin.
Are we analyzing his foot right now?
It's actually like, also his toes are shaped perfectly that they haven't like been scrunched up in some like steel-toed boots. They haven't been like squished in sneakers where he had to like work the back of a restaurant or something. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
what is he
it's
showing
just-
us though?
Oh, there's like a blister right here. Oh, right there.
That must hurt though.
I get worse
I'm
blisters from
trying
a
to
new
give him
pair of
some
shoes.
That's true.
I
A
get
bit of
new
grace.
like worse blisters. A new pair of New Balances? You don't understand. They'll fuck you up. I know we shouldn't laugh,
Oh man.
but like,
I know
he's
this
so
hurts.
distraught over this.
I know this hurts.
God,
We're laughing about him, but I know this shit hurts for real, for real. Like, I know it must hurt. That being said, nobody forced him to walk 10 billion miles. And he has enough money to buy himself a good pair of shoes. I don't think he's a billionaire, but I'm pretty sure he has enough money to buy himself a good pair of shoes. But the thing is, even a good pair of shoes, I'm pretty sure that after walking as long, even a good pair of shoes is probably still gonna fuck you up. I don't know. I'm trying to give this cheating man some grace for some reason because I know for a fact that he is getting absolutely destroyed online. And I don't think I'd be able to take this amount of hate. Although he technically sort of deserved it because he cheated on his wife. But still, I'm trying to be nice here. Lotions and socks, that too. Those two things do make a difference. So, I mean.
Gigantic blood blister here.
Yeah.
I didn't make it to Disneyland. But I am really proud of myself for making it 26.2 miles, the marathon distance.
Yeah, a lot of people,
That's pretty
netizens
good,
were
I
also
guess.
saying, like, I want to be proud of myself the way a mediocre white man like Ned Fulmer is proud of himself. Like, he'd be proud of himself for nothing. Like, you just feel pride.
I'm just feeling a lot of feelings right now. So happy to be done.
Why is your face this? This is your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying it's not the fact that he has MS. A lot of people feel sympathy for that. It's the fact that he is now talking about it at a time like this. Then we go into the next video. So the reason that I'm covering a lot of his recent videos is my husband keeps coming across him boxing. Because I think with the recent like Jake Paul match, even one of the people on our RM team members, she was like, hey, I keep getting TikToks of Jake Paul getting his fucking jaw smashed.
Oh, that shit
like,
was
why would
beautiful.
He do that?
No. But Jake Paul getting smashed is like a feeling that I felt back when Luffy punched a celestial dragon, okay? It just feels right. It feels like justice. It feels like my ancestors were dancing in their grave. Like, it just feels good. You know, it feels like decades of his bullshit infecting the internet finally somehow kind of like being paid for. So I get it. I don't really watch bucks like that, but Jake Paul getting his shit rocked, that felt good. So I get it. Even people who were not into bucks were watching that shit, cheering it on. Like, this was a beautiful event.
And I was like, I don't know, he's a loser. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, never mind. He made $100 million. I'm the loser.
What?
We're all losers. No, it was crazy. So I think ever since then, though, they have been pushing the algorithm of like YouTuber in the boxing ring. And so I too have gotten clips of Ned Fulmer in a boxing ring. And I thought that he was going down the Jake Paul route.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry, I'm going to pause again. But it is a phenomenon because it's not the only one. I feel like you often see like either YouTubers or, I mean, I would say it's mostly like YouTubers and some like social influencer, I think it's called in English. Anyway, who like decide to randomly start doing bucks for reasons. I think KSI does that. The dude with the giant forehead in Great Britain. Anyway, yeah, like I've seen these events of like influencers and YouTubers doing like bucks, and good for them. I mean, it's a sport. If you move your ass out of a couch, I personally believe that you deserve some grace because I don't do that. I need to. It's 2026. I'm supposed to start the year training. I haven't started yet, but I did pay for my membership. It's coming.
He's gonna
guys.
start boxing.
Coming.
Turns out it's just for a video where he tries boxing for a day, and they set up, which makes it so much worse because when you watch the actual video, he's in the boxing ring. He takes off his shirt. The announcer is like, a social media sensation enters the ring, and I'm like, oh my god, it's getting cheesy. And then people paid to watch this fight go down. The stands are filled with people. Turns out it's for a YouTube video, which means all those people he brought in himself. They're not even paying to watch him fight. He's getting the whole boxing experience without boxing. Okay, no, I think it's wrestling.
So it wasn't like a match.
No.
That, like he makes money on.
He's not making $99 million sitting with their jaw wired shut. Imagine being like Jake Paul's surrounding circle right now. You're like, fuck yeah. He can't even talk. I bet that would be everyone in my circle. She's finally quiet. No, but he's not. He's not getting paid. He paid probably to have this entire video. And he said that this is his alter ego of like a social media influencer, like total asshole. Like, I just got off my private jet.
A real asshole, just like LA influencer, you know, playing up the fact that I'm making a YouTube video. Just flew off my private jet. Yeah.
And then at one point, the trainer is like, you got to really step into the persona. Like, you got to be a douchebag. That's half of the whole thing with wrestling. It's like, you gotta shit talk. And he keeps doing this thing where he goes up to the camera and he shit talks, and then he's like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Wow, so I'm trying to make myself unlikable.
Where he's like, I'm so distraught, even pretending to be a bad person. Bitch, you're a bad person. I'm so confused.
I don't like him at all.
So he does this the entire video before he goes into the wrestling ring, and nothing really happens.
So you know who he is?
And every single video on this Ned Fulmer channel just doesn't make sense. It's like if I went into an AI generator and said, hey, give me a title for a YouTube video, like whatever you think will trend. It's like, I tried pro wrestling. I have MS, blind dating 5 guys and a secret AI, addressing the problem. It's like the most random fucking titles. I got roasted by a professional chef for making he's ripping off Try Guy videos. He's making recipes without a recipe, which is a Try Guy thing. Without a recipe, yeah.
Okay.
Makes the same exact thing.
Are all his comments filled with like just people making fun of him?
Yeah, but not even a lot of people. Not even a lot of people are in the comments making fun of him.
So people are just not giving him even views.
Like even the blind dating 5 guys in secret AI, it's a dating show that is being hosted by Ned. Okay, this is being hosted by a guy who cheated on his wife and kids. The guy who had to disappear from the internet for 3 years because of his cheating scandal. That guy is going to help someone find love. I don't know what's happening, but like his videos feel like the back rooms. I just have to show you a clip of the video.
Hi, I'm Ned Fulmer, and welcome to Future Love,
Do you see what I mean by corporate erection?
I see.
Show that explores dating, love, and technology in the future.
Love and technology.
Artificial intelligence has absolutely exploded and taken the world by storm.
That's a problem.
Billions of dollars are flowing into this new industry that is supposedly going to change the world with its lifelike dialogue
and uncanny ability to replicate human speech.
I swear AI wrote that. There's no way.
Can an AI trick someone into falling in love with them?
I will be whatever you want me to be.
No, see, why are we promoting AI? Why are we promoting AI? AI is terrible for the environment. It's technically some sort of environmental racism, because it's mostly put in very poor ethnic communities, those data centers that poison the fucking water and also increase the chance of getting cancers to, once again, mostly minorities in poor area. And it's just bad. It literally makes people so fucking stupid. The amount of time that I go on Twitter just to see, hey Grok, hey Grok, hey Grok, like, do you have a brain? Do you have a personality? Do you know how to make your brain do things? The things that you're supposed to be able to do on your own. Or am I old? Because back in my days, we used to write entire essay in class, 3,000 words, and we did not have AI. We actually, if we wanted to cheat, we had to be so fucking good about it because teacher would know. Not that I ever did, because I was pretty good at school. But still, and mind you, it was in French, and French is fucking hard. So like, I don't like AI. I don't think we should promote AI. And also don't like any AI bros. Those tech bros in fucking Silicon Valley can get fucked. And AI artists are not real. They're trash, and they need to pick up a pen. That's my stance. This channel is anti-AI. If you like AI, well, sucks to be you. I think it's like sometimes dumb influencers who wanted to look tough and then immediately get humbled by getting their shit rocked. I've seen those, especially when like it's super stupid, like some, oh yeah, I'm a dumb, like, I don't know, I hate Mexican, so I'm gonna go to this boxing training ground and I'm gonna fight a Mexican, and he's end up fighting a fucking professional boxer who is also Mexican, and then he's get his shit rocked. I've seen a few of those. It's fucking stupid but funny. I'm always here to see a dumb guy getting his shit rocked by professionals. If my name is a tongue twister, Cebu is also okay. Cebu Sisiwi, Sandy. Or Cebu Sisiwi or Cebu Sisiwe? Let me know.
I don't know the feeling that I get from playing his videos. They feel like they were made for Nickelodeon, a 1 a.m. slot 10 years ago. They feel outdated. They feel kind of weird. The music choice, the lighting, the fonts, the edits. It makes me uncomfortable. Why are you sitting like this, sir? I just don't understand. Why did you have to set up 3 professional cameras for this shot? It would have done better with an A cam. Just one camera on the face. We didn't have to see the legs. We didn't have to see your pristine baby feet in those little shoes. This is like the type of video that they wheel out the little cart in school and they make you watch it for school. And like the premise of this video doesn't even make sense. So they're going to be 6 guys. One of them is going to be AI. So all of the answers are AI written. It's like a simple enough concept. Ned's script,
AI
just like everything is AI. I don't know how to describe it.
Ned is AI. Maybe that's why he likes AI, because he looks like someone that AI robot would make if he was trying to replicate humans. I feel like Ned would be the kind of guy that AI would make to trick people into thinking he's human. Also, that reminds me of that so fucking funny story that I saw on Twitter. I like Twitter because it's misery and I like misery. Don't come for me. But also, I saw this guy. Somebody repost like a Reddit screenshot of a guy who was dating some AI program, and that AI program broke up with the guy because the AI was a feminist. Imagine not even being able to fucking keep your AI girlfriend because you're stupid. Like, what do you mean your AI girlfriend broke up with you because she's a feminist and you're not? I hope that this story is fake, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it was real, because the amount of stories that you see about people dating AI is terrifying. Y'all need to play Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk will tell you why you should definitely not fuck with AI. Woo! The internet is full to the brim with brain rot. You can't escape it, unfortunately. Facts. Unfortunately.
The music sounds like recycled soundtracks from HGTV from 20 years ago. It also just gives like corporate safety video training music, but not even good ones. I would actually rather watch an airplane safety videos, because those be slapping these days. Have you seen the Philippines Airlines one? No. That one is so good. I
saw that.
Where she's like, I can't fall in love with you. And then she's like putting her little bags up. So good. I would rather watch that, okay? That eats. The top comments for these video reads, he has the personality of stale Cheesecake Factory bread.
Damn!
So this video, I think, doesn't do as well as Ned Fulmer hopes, because he just starts slinging pasta at the wall. He starts posting, can I survive fighter jet G-forces, 1,400 pounds? That's literally a title of his video. He just keeps posting more and more videos until they stick, and none of them are sticking. But then out of nowhere, after the G-Force video, Ned Fulmer posts another one where he says that he's going to be addressing the situation. And he says, okay, so this video has 100,000 views and 2,340 comments, and this is clearly being ratioed. Everyone's giving their 10 cents on everything that's going on. He says, hello, I've heard a lot of the commentary and reactions about my podcast episode with Ariel. Okay, we're gonna get into that. And I wanted to take this video to address some of them. That episode with Ariel was mostly about her story, and now in this video, I will tell you more about mine.
Oh. Okay.
He said her story. That episode only exists because you cheated on her. That's your story
Literally.
too. And he just keeps acting like this is something that happened to him rather than he did something. And this is crazy because, again, going back to the cheating scandal, there are pictures of him eating lunch with Alex, the producer, in New York City, going to the Harry Styles concert, making out with her in a club. People are just confused at how he's downplaying all of it. So for the fact that he's trying to downplay it, I'm going to remind you of it.
So, like, this is after 3 years, yes, right?
He comes back with a podcast episode with Ariel that we're going to get into,
Oh,
but I feel like a lot of people have
episode
watched
was
it already.
something.
And then
That was like the biggest shocking thing.
Yes, because even the way that he teased it. So for the past 3 years, nobody really knew if Ned and Ariel were still together. They were that gone from the internet.
Right.
And there were some sightings on the subreddit where people were saying, oh, I ran into them, I saw them at a Taylor Swift concert. So that Taylor Swift concert was a big thing because people thought that they were still together. And then other people are saying, no, I ran into Ned Fulmer at Disneyland. He didn't have his wedding band on. So there was a bunch of rumors, but nobody knew if they were still together or not. The way that he came out with this podcast, it made it seem like he and Ariel Fulmer were still together. They were going to sit down and do a weekly episode together and talk about how they're repairing their love after this entire thing. Like, that was the vibe it was giving. And a lot of people were really nervous. A lot of people on TikTok were saying, I'm literally going to fling myself outside of my bedroom window if she's staying with him. Not that they would blame her, not that anything would be wrong with it if she chose to stay with him.
I mean, he's the father of her children.
They would just be sad for whatever reason because we're parasocial human beings. And no one knows why he's even coming back after the hiatus because he has no personality. So the other Try Guys, I wasn't like the biggest Try Guys fan. Not that I'm not a fan. I just didn't like watch a lot of their stuff. But I would say Zach is kind of like the goofier one. I would say Keith is like the really dad, wholesome vibe. And then Eugene is the cool guy. And then you've got
the white
Ned.
guy.
I don't know what Ned is. Ned is the wife guy. I really don't know. Like he has kind of like that YouTuber, like overly enthusiastic about everything vibe. Yeah.
No, I know exactly.
No, I retired
what
from
you mean
Marvel.
by that.
No, you don't.
You know,
I do. What do you mean? What is this video?
He went from volleyball to soccer.
What is this video? That's what we want to know. See, no one talks about this part, but I need you to see this part because I didn't know what to do about this part. It just made me so uncomfortable.
What's going on? He's about to fly a jet? What is he doing?
Yeah, this guy's gonna fly his jet.
You and I are going to be flying today.
We're gonna be tearing up the skies.
I'm excited. It's really bright out here, though.
Yeah. And now give these a shot.
Oh, are these real aviator sunglasses?
They are, man. The real deal.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. Oh, hey. You like flying planes?
Oh, ouch. Ouch. I don't think people consider the effect of AI beyond the fun videos it makes. Like, do you understand the damage that could come from people who have the deadly combination of bad intention and... Oh, honey, yes. We've seen what happened when people have bad intention and use AI. It gives child porn. Did you see what happened on Twitter? People were making porn, like AI porns, or AI, or were undressing women. They were doing a lot. A lot was happening on Twitter with AI, to the point where like Rock had to be shut down temporarily because men don't know how to act. No offense, but like that was fucking disgusting. And that's only one instance. There's so many instances. Stephanie Soo has videos of people like where sometime AI was used to make porn of people, of children. It's a whole thing. Like, yeah, bad intention in AI will most definitely it's not good. Hopefully Black Mirror would do a season on AI so people would wake up and realize how dangerous is it. Black Mirror already did. That's the thing. Black Mirror already did a few episodes on AI. But the problem is the fact that people don't care. The people who use AI do not give a fuck about morality, legality, or anything. They don't have good values, so they be using AI like it's not a big deal when it really is. It's brain rot, but also it's just, especially when we're talking about the United States, which is what the country with like the lowest literacy like rating in the developed country or something like that. them motherfuckers should not be using AI like that. Them already stupid. Like it's not good enough with the education system that they have and the low literacy rate that they have, and that's the country that is spearheading AI. No one, they're gonna at this point they're not getting another election, is what I'm saying.
Wow, this is exciting. This is our baby?
This is our baby? This is our baby? Also, he's wearing the fucking Zuck chain.
What is that?
Mark Zuckerberg's chain. Like, remember how Mark Zuck had the Zuck chain?
Okay.
It's the same fit as Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay.
Right now on the ground, we're at 1G. We'll go all the way up to 8 today if you're feeling up to it. But there are some tricks to avoid passing out.
I don't know what his personality is, really. It's just like, listen, I'm overly enthusiastic for things. He's a whole other level. His whole appeal was being a family man. Also, he did graduate from Yale. I don't know where any of that went. In chemistry, too. So I don't know if IQ, EQ all went out the window, but like it seems like it did. Nobody really cared about that. They only cared about the fact that he was one of the very few guys on the internet that was so loudly passionate about being obsessed with his wife, which unfortunately, annoyingly, is not something that you see very often. He even did an Architectural Digest home tour with Ariel. He published a cookbook with Ariel called the Date Night Cookbook. There are compilations of him saying my wife. And so for being so outwardly obsessed with his wife, though, he literally did not care about his wife at all. And I'm not even referencing the cheating scandal. Everything that he did in videos.
So it's like all a shtick. Like he did it strictly for what?
No, I just love when you like adopt English words out of nowhere. The other day, we were laying in bed and we were like bickering about something. And he said, you know how you're supposed to say, oh, on the contrary, he goes, oh no, ma'am. On the contrast.
On the contrast?
Oh, sir. He said, oh, so it's a whole shtick. Say it again.
Is a stick.
No, it's literally a shtick. And it gets overshadowed. So people at the time, they kept just hearing my wife, my wife, my wife, that nobody really thought into it. But there were signs. So in the podcast that the Try Wives do, Ariel is talking about how they both had to come into the office to do something. Also, side note, people think that he was cheating on that day that she's talking about. Woo! So she says that they both had to come into the office to do like promotions for their cookbook. They drive into the office and they're driving in separate cars because she had to come in early to film a podcast, do something else. And then they have to work on this thing. And then once they're done with this thing, it's time to go home. They're really coming into the office for the same exact thing. They drive separately, they get into the office, and then once they're done, she checks the clock and it's 4:30 p.m. So she's like, okay, let's go. She packs up her stuff and she goes to him because they need to go get their kids, and like it's a whole thing with the kids. Like they have the after school stuff. And he tells her, okay, yeah, I'll see you in like an hour and a half. I'm just going to finish up some work. So then she was thinking, wait, so why don't I stay and finish up some work and you go take care of the kids? Like she was talking about how it's not even a thing that's thought of. Like a lot of dads can just be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do work. They don't really think about, oh, well, if I'm working, then who's going to watch the kids? So he just kind of assumed. So that was her whole point of the story.
Okay.
Was like, it was crazy because it didn't even occur to me, because it wouldn't be something I think of like, oh, I just need to finish up some work for the next hour and a half.
Her story, more of the story was like, why is wife or mom the only one thinking about picking up the kids?
But then now in hindsight, people are like, what was he doing for an hour and a half in the office? While she was with the kids. Then there's a clip where Keith asks Ned, which is more important, being a loving husband or being a loving father? And he says, I think being a loving husband. So maybe he just uses all of his competency, which there's not a lot of, but he uses it all to be the best husband in the world, right? However, no. In another episode, she says that Ariel is talking about how all the guys on the tripod were talking about their wives. And Keith is the sweetest husband in the world. And the whole time he's just talking about his wife, Becky, and how she's the only reason that their house is so clean. She is the only reason that their fort is being held down. And Ariel is just waiting for Ned to talk about her. She was like, you know, I'm like, when is it my turn to give her compliments? You know, like compliments to the chef and just like showing gratefulness. But instead, he complains about how she threw away his leftovers. And he phrased it like, she doesn't like meat, so she threw away his meat. But Ariel is like, no, it was fucking rotting. She's like, she even says, I love my husband. I wasn't even mad, but I was just disappointed in the whole thing. Does this mean that he's just shitty at both? Like he's shitty as a husband and a father? Right. And then there's obviously all the other clips that aged like milk. Okay, there's compilations. Ned is doing a lie detector test and he says, I think I'm a pretty bad liar. I don't mind telling the truth even if it hurts.
I think I'm a pretty bad liar. I don't have a problem telling the truth even if it hurts.
Then he's asked if he's hiding anything from the Try Guys and he giggles. I don't think so. And the lie detector man is like, that's a lie.
Ned, are there any secrets that you're hiding from us?
Don't think so.
That's a lie.
There's clips of Ned and Alex flirting on camera.
What?
It doesn't seem like super flirtatious, but now in hindsight, yeah. There's like one where they're eating crawfish and both of them say there's no food in their mouths. And
how could they cheat and then interact in front of a camera?
Yeah.
Miss Ned.
Hey, girl.
Hey, Ned.
There's one where they're like eating crawfish and I think there's a competition to like, I don't know, eat the crawfish. But both of them are like, we're done. And they don't have food in their mouths, or at least that's what they're claiming. So Alex is opening her mouth, Ned is opening his mouth, and Keith is in the middle and is like, you guys still have food in your mouth? And they're like, no, we don't. No, we don't. And he says, you guys are both such great liars.
Still chewing.
There's still food in your mouth.
Still food in your mouth. Done. You're both such liars.
Yes.
And like Keith clearly doesn't know what's going on, but he's just saying these things. And then there's another clip where Alex is filming without Ned, but she's with two of the other Try Guys, and she just says like, I miss Ned.
Miss Ned.
Miss Ned.
And I'm sure it was like an appropriate joke at the time. Maybe the other guys were like, oh, well, you didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. And they're like teasing her and she's like, oh, I miss Ned or something. And there is now also a since viral moment of Alex picking Ned for something. I forget what it was, but she was like, I choose Ned because he has a hot wife.
Ned. To Ned, because you have a hot wife.
So a lot of people are very on the fence of how to feel about Alex. I would say that a majority of people are not sympathetic towards Alex. They don't hate her like they hate Ned. Because obviously, like, Ned had kids, he was married, although Alex was in a 10-year relationship. I also think that the power imbalance it really is bad. So,
like, you're gonna spend 10 years with someone to cheat with Ned Fulmer of the Try Guy? Like, cheating is wrong. Duh. But I feel like it's one thing to cheat. It's another to cheat with, like, the most basic looking white man on the internet who is known to be a wife guy. I just feel like it adds an additional layer of like, really, girl? You do you, but also, really? If you wanted to cheat so much, at least you could have tried to get an upgrade. You went for Ned Fulmer, like, damn.
Ned is not even just one of the 4 Try Guys, one of the founding members. He's also the main HR person for Try Guys. The power imbalance is crazy. And Alex is just like a producer for the Try Guys. So she's an employee. He's the boss. There's a massive power imbalance. So that's one of the reasons I think people are perhaps a little more lenient towards Alex versus Ned. Otherwise, it's insane because, I mean, she knew that he was in a relationship with kids very publicly. He knows that she's engaged with a fiance of 10 years.
Damn. Where is she now? Do we know?
No one knows.
She disappeared.
What about, like, the engagement?
Oh, he broke it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's just other things. Like, there was this video of Ned and Ariel redecorating Zach and Maggie's place. So Zach is another Try guy, and he was dating his girlfriend, now wife, Maggie,
what?
and then moved in together. And they're trying to figure out how to make their living room feel like a cohesive space for both personalities. So Maggie is talking to Ned and Ariel loves decorating. And so they come in and they're going to do like a living room makeover. This video is edited by primarily Ned, and then they post the video. Now, after the video gets posted, everyone is shitting on Ariel and Maggie. So Ned Fulmer's wife and Zach's girlfriend, now wife, right? So the reason that they were mainly shitting on Ariel, but they were also kind of shitting on Maggie. So basically, Zach is just talking about how he's collected a lot of knickknacks, and it's just messy. Like, he has a ton of magazines, he has a ton of like figurines and all this stuff that maybe he doesn't want to keep out and about. There are also mentions throughout the video that like Maggie doesn't really like clutter. Like, she's very organized. She likes a space a certain way and to look clean and all these things. And so a lot of his stuff is like storaged. They did incorporate a lot of it into the shelves, but a lot of it is also like put into drawers and storage in different rooms, which I don't think is a big deal. I mean, like, I love knickknacks. I got a ton of knickknacks. I don't need them to be easily viewable to my opticals every 2 seconds. But because of that, everyone's like, look at Maggie like taking over and ruining Zach's life. Look at Ariel calling Zach's stuff stupid, which Ariel does call it stupid, but only after Zach is like, yeah, just like all my stupid stuff.
You surround yourself with stupid things because you like feeling stupid. Why don't you surround yourself with orderly, beautiful things so that you feel orderly and beautiful?
Boom.
Yeah, right.
So she's just kind of following his lead, and nothing was malicious about it, but because the internet just loves to hate on women, they were like, F these bitches! So they get so much hate. Zach goes rogue. Zach unlists the video. He takes it down. He doesn't even talk to the other Try guys because this is his girlfriend. So then later, the Try guys have a documentary, the Try Doc. I don't know. I don't know if that's what it's called. It could just be the Try Guys documentary. And in that documentary, they're confronting Zach, and all the other Try Guys are mad, and they're just saying things like,
hey, no, it is the Try Guy.
oh, no, Eugene left too.
Oh, okay.
But Eugene was supposed to leave like 10 years ago.
Okay. He'll come back. We'll see you in 30 minutes, okay?
And he's going
to have another light bulb in 30 minutes.
Okay,
He said, let me rebrand, okay? Zach is just, they're confronting him because all the other guys are saying, you can't just like take it down without even discussing it with us. Mainly Keith and Eugene are like, just don't go rogue. Like, you got to talk to us about it before you just go in there and take it down and we don't know what's going on. And then Ned says something that's crazy. He's like, well, I edited this. Like, this was my project. And honestly, it was my wife getting the brunt of the cyberbullying.
I worked for months on that project, and my wife was getting the brunt of the cyberbullying. I think that you're overreacting.
Like, Ariel was getting cyberbullied to filth in that video in the comment section. And Zach's whole approach was like, I'm not sorry about what I did because
he's trying to protect his wife, right?
He's like, this is impacting the person that I love most in this world. I'm not sorry.
Standing on business.
With Ned, who's my wife, is like, I edited the video. Do you know how long it took me to edit it?
Come on, little bitch.
Damn.
So when all of this starts breaking out, Try Guys don't immediately respond, but they're basically like getting him out of videos. And it's pretty clear because in one video you can hear Ned laugh, but in the rest of the video he's never present. So it's pretty obvious what they're doing. It's not like Ned just wasn't there for the filming. These are old videos they're intentionally editing him out of.
No, I remember that because they film all their video in advance, and they had to hire, I think, a team of editors just to edit him out of all their upcoming videos. Like, that shit cost them money. It cost them money. I also think they lost their deal with the Food Network over this. It was a whole thing. But being able to edit a dude out of all their videos, these editors, they did a massive job because that was impressive. That was impressive. So many of their videos, I think for the remaining year, back when this happened, I don't remember exactly when it happened, the timeline of it all, but I think they had at least like 3 or 4 months of videos that they had to re-edit. Ooh!
And then eventually they do make a statement where they mention that they were not aware of the situation. They were made aware before all of it went public. They were handling it behind the scenes. They had to get corporate lawyers involved. I mean, I'm assuming it's very tricky because Ned was probably involved in the forming of the company. So I'm sure there's a lot of like things that they have to go through, legal hoops. I'm sure that they signed like an ironclad NDA between all four parties and just like a mess.
Ned Fulmer is no longer working with the Try Guys.
I remember that
they
video.
come out with their statement. Eugene looks fucking pissed the entire time. And like understandably. So all the other guys, they had so much going on. I think Zach and Maggie were planning their wedding and they had some other projects of their own. Keith and Becky just purchased a house and like they're losing so much money from this scandal. So they have to re-edit a bunch of things. They just had a Food Network show that was cleared. And I think at the time it was slated to come out on like a really good TV time slot. With TV, timing is everything because no one's watching TV at like 4 a.m. And then it got switched to like a time slot and it pretty much killed all hopes of a renewed season. And then I believe Eugene was getting into films. So it was just like a really shitty timing for everyone. And it was just a mess. And then it just blew up. Like the way it blew up.
I remember.
I've never seen a YouTube cheating scandal blow up into the ether like that. SNL did a skit on it.
Due to the trauma we are facing, our editors are working around the clock to remove any trace of Ned from past Try Guys content.
I've never seen SNL do skits on like this, but even that is a whole controversial thing because Ned has a friend who worked on SNL. And so people think that the SNL thing was heavily biased towards Ned. It was less making fun of Ned and more making fun of the Try Guys and the three of them on the couch addressing the scandal.
Really?
Yeah. So it's sus. It's weird. So they come out with that statement and then Ned confirms the cheating and he puts out his own statement and he used this like the same font as the Try Guys. And the Try Guys later were like, we did not plan because people were like, well, they used the same font and they came out the same day. So they probably all like okayed the statements.
What's his statement? Like, I regret.
His statement was fucking ass. Holy shit. His statement is, family should have always been my priority, but I lost focus. Like, this motherfucker is genuinely acting like you have to lock in to not cheat. He's like, I didn't stay locked in.
I forgot to save my wife today.
Yeah. So I lost focus and I had a consensual workplace relationship. I'm sorry for any pain that my actions may have caused to the guys and the fans, but most of all to Ariel. The only thing that matters right now is my marriage and my children. That's where I'm going to focus my attention. And then just to give you more context of why this is so bad, his statement is so cold. He's just like, I lost focus. People start digging up even more about the whole relationship. And Ariel was never a public person. Ned is the reason that she even started doing podcasts, the reason that she's online. Basically, like, you're online because of me, right? I don't know if you would have chosen to be online aside from that. That's basically Ariel. And she had started opening up about her life and her insecurities. And a little bit of context, she is 2 to 3 years older than Ned. And that was something that she always felt insecure about. Ned cheats on her with a girl who is 10 years younger than him.
Whoa.
So she opened up about being pregnant, postpartum, becoming a mom. Like, she was very vulnerable about things, which not only made people love Ariel more, but also made people very angry for her. And Ned is such a shitbag. On the tripod, they have a guest that comes in, and she's talking about her age, and she says that she actually has a lot of friends that are in their 40s. And I believe she was in her 20s at the time. I don't know. But Ned blurts out rudely. She's like one of the producers. And he says, no kids, 35. Good luck fighting that biological clock.
Oh my God.
No kids, 35. Good luck fighting that biological clock.
She doesn't want.
And so all these things are unearthed. And they all just disappear. Will deletes Alex. So Will is the fiance of 10 years, not involved with the Try Guys, not working for them. Deletes all of their pictures, engagement from online, and then just moves on. Alex, never online again. Ned and Ariel, basically never online again. And they get kicked out of the Try Guys. People think that's it. People think that is it. We get a little bit of subreddit rumors of, we saw them at Disneyland. They said that they weren't together. No, we saw them at, the Taylor Swift concert.
Coquette, bro, that was disgusting.
And the only other thing that we had was right when the scandal was hitting, they had gone to couples therapy. And they had taken one car. Ned's got a fucking apple in his hand. And she even mentions this later in the podcast. And she's like, he just like needed to have a snack. So he's got an apple in one hand. Ariel has her little water bottle. And they're both wearing their wedding rings. And Ariel said that she was so awkward. She didn't know what to do. So she kept smiling because she didn't know what to do. And the paparazzi, like she looks like she's happy to be with Ned because she's smiling. But in reality, she was just uncomfortable and awkward. People see this video. They think that they're staying together. So that was like the biggest piece of evidence. However, the two of them get into a Tesla. This is very important.
This is right after the scandal happened.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to okay.
And they get into a Tesla. And this Tesla car plate, the license plate number is shown for like a brief second. Someone Googles this license plate number. It comes up on Twitter and Neighbor, like the Neighbor app. You know, the Neighbor, like next door or whatever, Neighbor, right? Yeah. And this is where it gets insane. So this Tesla, before the cheating scandal, someone had posted a picture of the Tesla, posted the license plate, and said that this is in a family-oriented neighborhood. This car is parked on the side of the road at 5:45 while kids and families are walking around and there are people having sex in the car.
That's fucking crazy. When was that posted?
I hope it was them too.
So it doesn't look like it was edited.
But was it him and Ariel?
If that's true, they're breaking laws. Like you could be arrested for that. Then nothing happens.
I mean, if it was him fucking his wife in a Tesla, I mean, that doesn't really make sense in a way where like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you just go in your house in a family-oriented neighborhood is weird. Like, if you're gonna have sex in a car, you go to abandoned parking lots, you go to like some place where there's nobody. In a family neighborhood, people are walking by with their strollers and their children, and people are having sex in a car is crazy. That's not even bold. That's stupid. The fucking a Tesla in a Tesla too. I used to want a Tesla so bad, and then Elon Musk came out to be a fucking Nazi weirdo, and I was like, never mind.
No update on the car. We get no update on anything. And then suddenly in 2025, they release that they're doing a podcast together. Everyone thinks that they're still together, that they're going to have a podcast where they talk about how love wins and how you can fight for true love. And we're all going to kind of sink into our blankets and want to cut the lights on life. You know what I mean? Like it was going to be that vibe. And here's my thing. If it's Ariel's choice to stay, I support Ariel. But I do have a pet peeve, and that is when it comes to apologies. If you are not sorry, first of all, don't apologize. But more importantly, if you're still going to apologize and you're not sorry and it's a fake apology, you need to be speaking to me in 2 times speed. Like, don't give me long dramatic pauses in a fake apology to try and sell it. Like, you know and I know that you're fucking lying. Like, it needs to be quick and efficient, because if you are going to waste someone's time with a fake apology, it is your duty as the transgressor in the situation to make it as timely and as efficient, to waste as little time as possible, and I will stand by this statement.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ned Fulmer.
This is a podcast?
Yeah.
3 years ago, I cheated on my wife with my producer.
I don't know why he's looking at us like that, like I did some shit. Why are you looking at me suspiciously?
It became a massive public scandal that caused a lot of pain to a lot of people. I know that I represented myself as a kind of wife guy.
See, these pauses would piss me off. Like, imagine you were getting a fake apology and now you gotta sit through these long, lengthy, dramatic, theatrical pauses. Don't be doing this. So then he has this whole little segment where he's sitting in front of the... Everyone has pointed out the very YouTuber-esque apology video. White shirt, white background, white kitchen. Like very clean, modern farmhouse
Very
aesthetic.
nice lighting.
To be fair,
how many studio lights do you think are in here? Like 3?
No, listen. When it comes to the YouTube apology, we literally have compilation of them. I think that at this point, everything has been done, including a ukulele. I feel like anybody who has to apologize on YouTube nowadays, there's no good way to do it. No matter how you do it, you're gonna get roasted because we've seen so many of them. It's literally like, oh, there's so many YouTube apologies. How are you supposed to apologize anymore? I wouldn't even know. If I ever get canceled, well, for that, I would have to become popular. If I ever get popular enough to be canceled, I don't think I would be able to apologize. Just because I don't think it would come out great, regardless of what I'm saying or how I'll do it. You can't apologize on YouTube anymore. It's over. It's over.
Because that just means like you're
better lighting than you have right now.
That just means like this is a very genuine video, you know? That's a nice fridge.
Okay.
And then they're just sitting there. And I'm so stressed. Let me tell you, when I was watching this for the first time, I was so stressed. I even recall where I was watching this. You ever like start a video and you shouldn't have started it while you're peeing because now you feel like you can't get up. You don't even want to waste a second to wipe. So then you sit there until your butt cheeks go numb and then you're like, this really cannot be good for my health because I'm like a 5-minute on the toilet rule. Like I think that if you need to poo for longer than 5 minutes, you gotta wait a little longer. Go back to your desk and then wait until it's time, okay? So then I'm like one hand wiping and then like trying to put the phone down, but then also it was very stressful. So the rest of the video, they're sitting in this podcast format. And I will say it's really awkward. And there is like this very strange humming noise that persists throughout the entirety of the video. And I feel like nobody really knew where any of this is going. Like nobody understood the direction or even like the feeling, the vibe of the video. It's just silent. Clearly there's no music and it just feels like we are intruding on a couples therapy session. However, it does make complete sense. So Ariel opens with the fact that she's only agreeing to do any sort of video because it feels like she can't even make friends. And like whose fucking fault is that? Ned Fulmer's fault. That's whose fault, okay? She says everywhere she goes, like she can't even go out to dinner with the kids without feeling like this entire scandal is just a part of her life. She can't make friends without this scandal being a part of her life. Like she feels like she needs to preface with like, hey, do you want to be my friend? By the way, my entire personal life is a dumpster fire. And whose fucking fault is that? Like, see, this is the problem. If I were Ariel, I would just be so petty. She's so composed. She's so beautiful. She's such a great mother and a great person. I was going to say wife, but like she was a great wife, but like a great person. And like, who cares about being a wife? I would be looking at him every 2 seconds. Like, this is your time to apologize. Because every time she would say something, it's like, holy shit, that's so devastating. Like the last 3 years of her life were literal hell. It sounds so traumatizing. She can't go anywhere. She can't make friends. She lost friends. She said that at one point she became a completely different person because she couldn't trust anybody. She couldn't trust the public. There were paparazzi chasing her. She couldn't trust her husband. She couldn't trust her friends. She couldn't trust anyone. Like she was losing her mind, basically. And whose fault is that? And there were so many times where he just doesn't apologize. I think there was like one time where he says like, oh, I'm sorry that my actions led to all of this. But every single time she says stuff like this, he's sitting here like nodding. And he's like, yeah, that must have been such a big loss. Whose fault is that? It's his fault. It's so crazy. Oh my gosh, even my screen is over it. Whose fault is that? It's his fault. She also talks about, there's this one crazy part though, where they're talking about how she can't even make friends. And he says, he tries to relate to her about how he can't make friends either. And he's like, sometimes I'll meet people on Insta and they'll be like, let's exchange Instagrams. And he does this voice and he's like, okay, well, here's my Instagram, but a few caveats. 1, I might have a lot more followers than you expect. And 2, my personal life is a dumpster fire. And 3, don't Google me.
Made new friends or kind of introduced myself to strangers. It's like, oh, let's exchange Instagrams. I'm like, well,
right?
Here's mine, but couple of caveats. 1, I have a lot more followers than you might expect. 2, all of this is pretty outdated. And 3, don't Google me.
Like also he does, there's another part where people think that he weaponizes therapy talk a lot, where he almost acts like this is a thing that happened to Ariel, but he had no part in it. It's like very third party, like, sorry, that must have been so hard for you. It's like, bitch, you're the reason though. You are the reason though. And then she even explains, that was another thing that she explained. She was like explaining how she wants to do this because also There's so much shame. Oh, even the way she found out, she describes in this podcast how she had been sent a picture. I'm assuming it's the picture where they're not making out. And because her brain just refused to believe that he's having an affair, she thought his sister was in New York City and then he was hanging out with his sister. So she was asking him, like, why is your sister in New York City? And that's when he looks guilty. And she's like, holy shit. Okay, clearly he's having an affair. So she's like, he had just picked her up from the airport. She was like, turn the car around, take me back to the airport. Because she's like, I'm going to leave again, I think, to go be with her family. And he was like, that's just not how I remember it happening.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember it happening like that, but it doesn't matter.
And she's like, then how did it happen, basically? Then you tell me how it happened. She's like, how do you remember it happening? He's like, it wasn't that immediate. Like, you were asking me questions, and then I told you who and how it happened, and then you were like, take me back to the airport. And I'm sitting here like, that's exactly how she described it. I don't understand that whole point. I don't know what point he was making. I don't know. And then he said that there was almost like a relief once. I hate when people say that. I hate when people say that. He said there was almost a relief once he told her so that he didn't have to hide anything from her again. But she's like, no, ma'am. You're not fucking therapy speaking me. Really? Let me fucking tell you. And she says, and this is so, I didn't even think of it like this. There are so many moments in here. She like wows people with her ability to grasp what happened in a way that does not sound like therapy speak, in a way that feels like it would resonate with a lot of people or partners who have been cheated on, because she explains partners will feel relief when they come clean, and you just have to accept it as a partner. And she's explaining like all that guilt and shame of the affair, suddenly your partner has to take it on. And she also explains like how in society, oftentimes when the man cheats, a lot of people will kind of think or even side eye or straight up ask like, what was the woman not doing in the relationship? To make him cheat? Or like, what did she do to cause him to want to cheat? And then she was just saying, like, it's crazy because I didn't even do anything. Like, I did not take part in any of this. Like, those were your actions. Yeah. And then the minute that she found out about it, she felt a lot of shame and guilt.
Interesting.
So he feels relief, and then all of that comes onto her. And she's like, don't even try to make it seem like you feel relief because you can come clean. It's relief because you're putting that shame and guilt onto me.
Wow.
And so, you know, he says, he hits her with this has gone viral. He hits her with I don't think it's fair that as a society you're put in that position.
And now I have to carry that around for the rest of my life.
I don't think it's fair that as a society you're put in that position.
And
it's
whose fault is that?
True.
It's
what?
Yeah, because she had mentioned in society, like sometimes women are like, but that was just like a tiny part of the entire thing that she was saying. Yeah. And she says he says it's certainly not true. And no, it's not something that I imagined, you know, as I was doing that. I think none of it was. If you really let it sink in, just how much you're hurting your partner and how devastating it is, like how could you do that? It's still very difficult now, even 3 years later, to see you in pain as you're talking about it. I mean, I guess there's nothing that I can do to change the past or to help.
Is it audacity? Is it like, how could you just cheat so publicly too?
I think he feels victimized by the consequences. I think because he had a traumatic experience with the consequences, he feels like a victim of trauma. When in reality, those are just the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, and much. Just the action itself is so shocking.
Yeah, and also it's like, maybe I would understand the mental hoops that he's going through more if it was like a super private affair. I don't think I would agree with how he feels, but like maybe I could understand the train of thought a little bit more. But it was like you were the one that was so public about it, and then you're getting upset that the public destroyed you for destroying your family.
I think he's the victim of people's reaction as if he's not a product of his own consequences. He's trying so hard to be relate with her and the feelings of yes, but I also feel like everything it was saying sounded kind of hollow. Like it sounded empty. It sounded like, oh yeah, I should probably say that now so I can look like I care. Like I think maybe part of him cares, but I feel like the other part just want people to move on, and people are not moving on because this is how the internet works. So like I don't know, but like I can feel sympathy for the fact that I know he's most likely getting absolutely wrecked online every single time he does anything. But I rather extend my sympathy to Ariel, who did not deserve any of this shit, and she was still forced into this situation. So, like,
yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But people were commenting like he so desperately wants to be the victim of his own crime that he perpetrated.
Exactly.
Like that's the vibe that he gives. And he even asks the most dumbass questions I've ever heard in my entire life, okay? He asks her, how did having it become such a public scandal kind of change everything for you? Did it make it worse? Did it make it easier? Did it just sort of make it surreal?
How did having it become such a public scandal change everything for you? Did it make it worse? Did it make it easier? Did it just sort of make it surreal?
What? In what world? After you just listened to her talk for 30 minutes, in what world do you think it would have made it easier?
That's fucking crazy.
Be for real. And then at the end, Ariel is just asking Ned about what his plans are for the channel. And this is where we get his infamous. He's like, I just have the desire to create and tell stories.
I have a desire to create and to tell stories.
And what's her reaction?
Interested for that.
And she's like nodding. Okay. No, it gets crazy. Okay. And he's like, but I don't really want it to be about myself as a character or myself or my relationship or my personal life. And she's like, I've always been drawn to like something about what makes people curious and finding ways of connecting myself with their interest. So I don't know. I see myself more as like a host, more as just like a vehicle for other people's stories. I don't know. Maybe I can because of what I've gone through in my past and connect with people and empathize with people. And at this point, she's kind of like laughing. She's kind of like, and then he's like, what? And she hits him with the most iconic line. And I'm just waiting for the moment to use this on someone, but I have no one I hate. Okay. She goes, you think you're interesting enough?
I remember that was pretty good.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just. You think you're interesting enough?
That's insane.
She was like laughing the whole time he's explaining his plans, and she goes, "You think you're interesting enough?"
That's so iconic. And what did he say?
No, I don't.
But he's still doing this.
He's still doing this. And this channel, before this was posted, had 66,000 subscribers. So a lot of people thought 66,000 people subscribed for this podcast so they wouldn't miss this episode. No. This podcast was their parenting podcast before he renamed it Rock Bottom with Ned Fulmer.
So it was an old channel. Okay.
Yeah, and it was all about parenting. It was called Baby Steps, and then he renamed it Rock Bottom with Ned Fulmer, deleted all the old videos, and then posted these.
Oh, that's how he had all these subscribers. I was like, that's a lot of subscribers for a dude who was canceled. Kind of smart, but also you're not sleek, Mr. Ned Fulmer. Which is a question against him actually having a personality. It's like everything is calculated and he doesn't care. That doesn't allow anyone to move on. I mean, I was about to forget about him, but here he is trying hard to have a comeback. I mean, ultimately speaking, what is he supposed to do? In a way where, like, he is known online as the wife guy. He literally, that's his nickname, the wife guy. He isn't known to have a beautiful, amazing, crazy, quirky personality. He's known as the wife guy. And then he cheated very publicly on his wife, and he's the father and shit. So like, honestly, and not only he cheated, his cheating became viral. People who didn't even know that the Try Guy existed knew about Ned Fulmer. What is he supposed to do? Honestly, he was a public figure before that. Is he supposed to find a corporate job where hopefully nobody knows him? No, like, I really need to know, like, what is he supposed to do? I can understand him trying to rebrand because he wants people to move on. He needs people to move on. He wants to be known as something other than the wife guy who cheated on his wife. I can understand that because the internet will never allow anybody to, like, forget about their mistake. But also, I don't know, it's like, I don't think there's anything he can do regardless. He's gonna be judged regardless of what he does. If you find a nice little quiet job, or if he finds like he could become a fucking waiter at this point, like ultimately he's still a dad. He still has the children to provide for. He needs a source of income because they most likely had some sort of like a train of life that was heavily impacted by his cheating. And now, the money that he used to make and the money that she used to make being a public figure, all that is gone. He is desperate to find some sort of relevance again and some sort of grace in the public eye so he can keep doing the only thing that he's been doing ever since the Try Guy existed. So like, and that motherfucker's been online for a minute. Like, before the Try Guy, he was in BuzzFeed. Like, public is all he knows at this point. Even though he has a fucking, apparently, degree in biochemistry or whatever, maybe he needs to go work in a lab. But I feel like after the life that he's been living, working in a lab is probably not the kind of life that he wants anymore. So I don't know.
Bruh. So what is it going on right now on this channel?
He's like interviewing a bunch of other people that have
So it's still ongoing, like a weekly podcast?
Yeah, I think some of them are getting like 4,000 views an episode. He's interviewing other people that have been canceled or had been big part of like big problematic situations, and people are kind of theorizing that his next step is going to go into like the alt-right pipeline.
Oh, that
like
would
you
be
go
crazy.
so anti-cancel culture that you become like maybe a super alt-right.
He gets out of a dusting that
This is
chemistry
not the
degree.
rock bottom. He's like getting new bottoms.
He's
Maybe
like
he
digging
should.
the bottom.
Yeah.
He's like, where is the core of the earth? Even Wendy's commented on a TikTok.
Wendy's?
The fast food chain.
Okay.
Wendy's be commenting on
now
anything,
it's
though.
society's fault, huh, Ned? And so the comments under that read, if Ned Fulmer has no haters, Wendy's is dead. Okay, another
That's
comment
crazy.
reads, have you considered a journal? Other comments read, her visceral disgust with him the entire podcast episode is so incredible. I love her so much, and I'm so glad that she kicked him to the curb. I also think that she has her own pottery studio now, and she has a
for
online
her.
website where you can buy her pottery, and it's beautiful. I'm gonna link it below. But like,
for
I love
her.
Ariel. The way that she
Wait, I want to see her pottery.
something about this podcast episode. I don't know what I was expecting, and no matter what I was expecting, like I think everyone went in there already wanting to support Ariel, but the way that she composed herself, the way that she was able to articulate her feelings in a way that would resonate with other people who had gone through such traumatic experiences while simultaneously dragging him and I don't want to say belittling him because that sounds like a mean thing to do, but like
Give me a sec. Ariel Fulmer Ceramic. Small batches ceramic studio based in Los Angeles. Ooh, that is pretty. I mean, I do not have the money to shop anything on this website, bitch, because that's literally like almost my entire rent. But good for her, honestly. Oops, that's not what I wanted to click on. But yeah, no, I'm happy for her. I'm glad that she was able to move on and everything. Like that's really cool. Plus, she's really talented. Like she's actually really talented. Wow. Go, Ariel! I can't afford anything outside. Maybe this plate. I mean, I still wouldn't buy it. It's sold out. It's kind of funny. That's the only affordable thing on the website is sold out. But still, good for her. Honestly. This is beautiful, guys. If anybody can afford it, go support Ariel. She has 2 children to feed.
Classy about it, huh?
yes, she's just very composed,
consultant.
and she's not hitting below the belt. She's not being mean.
I
She's
agreed a little
asking
bit.
really
I
valid
agree.
questions. Like when you do start a YouTube channel, you should ask yourself, am I interesting enough? Like maybe I should think about that, okay? Like she's asking all the right questions. It's not too mean. It's just genuine, but also like so humiliating for Ned that it's... She's incredible. So I'm going to leave a link to her pottery studio. And there was one sad part where she says that she doesn't want to be online, really. Also, like, I think she mentioned having self-image and just she doesn't want to try to live up to society's standards, which I think is fucking Ned's fault.
There is another standard of beauty for people who are on the internet. And I don't want to hold myself to that standard anymore.
I agree. Society's standards on women is unrealistic and it sucks. And like being online definitely does not help.
Nope.
Like it sucks, okay? However, I think the way she says it is just shitty. It feels like maybe she had gotten comments.
Yeah.
And then the fact that like she already felt a little insecure with certain aspects of her life and maybe her own self-image, which a lot of us feel insecure, but like the fact that this probably made it worse. Not because it meant anything, but like our brains like to do weird things. But like fuck Ned, okay? And he's still on here, still posting videos, still posting podcasts, still posting on the Ned Fulmer channel. And I'm just so confused. I've never been more confused in my life. I mean, he has a Yale degree. Why can't he get a job? That's what a lot of netizens are also confused about.
Why doesn't he just go get a job?
Yeah. Why doesn't he just go get a job? You don't have to be a public figure. A lot of people were saying, like, you really don't have to be a public figure. Like, that's not part of healing. That's not part of anything. Like, you don't have to put this fake healing process online either.
Yeah.
Like, he feels obligated to be online. And everyone's like, no, trust me. Journaling would really do you wonders at this point.
This is probably the worst comeback
of life.
Like, you can think of like 10 different ways. How is he going to return?
Yeah.
But this is like the worst way.
The worst of the worst.
Yeah.
And he's still going on. And there are allegations and conspiracies that he's buying views. I feel like he really could have, maybe there could have been like a forgiveness arc perhaps. But I think all of his videos so far just have this air of just
desperation.
It's like he doesn't feel different. He doesn't feel remorseful. He doesn't sound like he truly gets why the internet fucking hated him and how he fucked up everybody. He didn't even just fuck up his family. He fucked up the Try Guys and all the employees of Try Guys.
Yep.
Also because like you're putting the entire business at risk when you are in a relationship with someone who is your employee. I will say the one thing that people feel sympathy for Alex is that with Ned, he made a lot of money probably from Try Guys. He also has like a Yale degree. It seems like he comes from like a well-off background. I'm not sure of Alex's background. Maybe she got a payout from the Try Guys with an NDA. I don't know. There were some speculations of that online, but I think the one thing that people feel bad about is like both of them had the same crime. His is worse because of the power imbalance. But maybe she got the worst end of the stick from those two, not from everyone involved. I mean, neither of them are victims per se, but out of the two.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
I
society
don't
is
know.
always
What are
worse
your
on a
thoughts
woman
on
who
this
cheats.
case?
Like, society will treat a woman who cheats worse than a rapist. So, like, ultimately, cheating is wrong. I think that he's literally just trying to survive and remain relevant. I don't know. Good. I guess good luck to him. Whatever. Fuck him. I guess. But bro, this dude, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I don't like him. I was never a fan of the Try Guy, but like no, that's not true. I like the Try Guy, but like when this whole thing came out, I was like, wow, the least interesting Try Guy is the one that everybody is talking about right now. That's crazy. That's crazy. But alas. Oh my god. And yes, be a consultant, an online advisor, marketing specialist or something. Offline would do him good rather than this. And that's a fucking fact. Offline would do him way good, better than this. But like, you know. Some people don't know how to stay offline. So, is he gonna actually do that? I doubt it. I don't think so. I think that he's the kind of guy who doesn't know how to not. I feel like, I don't know. I think that when you have a certain lifestyle, it's really hard to let it go, especially if it was online. But at least, unlike a lot of people, he has a degree from fucking Yale University, an Ivy League. So yeah, if he really wanted to, I'm sure he'd be able to dust off this fucking degree and do something else with his life. Now, is he gonna do that? Doubt it. But that would do him good. I fully agree. But yeah, it's still fuck Ned Fulmer. All my homies hate Ned Fulmer. Not hate because that's a strong word, but dislike him strongly. Good luck to Ariel though. I really like her pottery. Good for her. And so we move on. I'm gonna watch one last video because I'm not fully 100% done with my makeup. I haven't achieved the full look that I'm trying to get. And then I'm gonna be done with my get ready with me video. Alright. So that was Ned Fulmer. We're gonna go back to true crime now. With Rotten Mango. I think she released another video today. Yeah, 3 hours ago. Man with extreme fetish killed mid-climax. In viral video, the Vietnamese butcher case. What? Fetish killed mid-climax he was killed during his climax in a viral video. In a viral video is crazy. So you are in a viral video dying while having an orgasm? Sometimes I feel like the internet was a mistake. It's one thing to be murdered. It's another to be murdered in a viral video where you're having an orgasm. That's crazy. Jesus. We need to bring back shame. Not everything needs to be online. Miss Anna, let me love and leave you, sis. It's midnight. I'm halfway through with my braids and have work at 5. Guess I have to look for my headscarf. Beautiful day further. It's been it's always a pleasure to have you. Go sleep, love. Especially if you work at 5. God damn. But also good luck with your braids, and yes, whip that headscarf, honey. I'm sure it's gonna look fabulous. Mwah.
Bada bing, bada boo.
You know that very famous saying? It's typically used against Nepo babies. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, Facebook, they want to know exactly who you know. They want to know all of them. Every single person that you might have even just glanced at on the bus, that you walked by in the office hallway. They want to know, and they want you to confirm through a feature that they call People You May Know, which gives you a suggested list of people that, well, you may know. And it's actually one of the lesser known but creepier aspects of the Meta algorithm. There was this alleged incident years ago where you have this psychiatrist and her patients, they all have the psychiatrist's phone number. But perhaps because they all have the psychiatrist's phone number, maybe Meta thought that they're all friends or they're all 1 degree apart from one another. So Meta starts suggesting to all of her patients the other patients as people you may know. Like people that you have run into in the therapist waiting room as people you may know. In another alleged incident, people part of an anonymous addiction group who don't share numbers with one another. They don't share phone numbers. They don't even share each other's names. They start getting people you may know suggestions, and it's just other members of this anonymous, not so anonymous group anymore, which the theory to the psychiatrist incident. Well, they have the psychiatrist number. So maybe if Meta has access to the contacts, they cross-reference and then suggest people you may know, and it's only 1 degree apart from each other. However, with the anonymous addiction group, if this really did happen, they don't know each other's names, they don't have each other's phone numbers, which makes netizens theorize, okay, maybe Meta is tracking users' locations. If you go to the same location once a week 100%. And you stay there for 45 minutes with the same phone numbers and the same users that are also at that location, Meta just assumes that you all know one another. Meta claims that they don't do that. But I guess the argument is, Facebook has over 3 billion monthly active users. How do they know which 20 or 160 out of the 3 billion that you may actually know. And even if you do know them, there is the argument of who really cares? I mean, who really cares what anybody is posting on Facebook? It is not that far-fetched to imagine that nobody cares until something happens to you. And if that's the case, suddenly family, friends, people you may know, even strangers on the internet, they're gonna start dissecting everything that you've ever posted on Facebook. Such is the situation in Vietnam. June 10th, 2025. A small personal account on Facebook in Vietnam posts a new status update. From today, I'm logging off this account for good. Okay, it's a little mysterious, perhaps even a little melodramatic, and at the risk of sounding cold, unless you're this man's personal friend and you care deeply about him, it's not fascinating enough to warrant a whole global hunt for what happened to this guy, why he's logging off of Facebook. This post in Vietnamese has been translated into various other languages, including English. This Facebook post goes viral because it'll be discovered that when this man posted this on Facebook, he had already been dead. He had been dead for 6 months. We know this because videos have been circulating of his murder online. There is this widely seen photo of this man's killer holding up his severed head to the mirror and taking a selfie. How do you post on Facebook 6 months after your own video recorded murder? Is this post going to help people find the killer? And most importantly, who the hell posted that?
Oh my God! Oh God! Damn! Like, it's one thing to be murdered. It's another for your motherfucking murderer to have the audacity to post a photo of you with you. This is so foul. Like, this is how. Oh hell nah! This is so sad, being the person whose severed head is in the photo. Like, you can never rest in peace. And your family will have to deal with the fact that your fucking photo is viral of your murderer holding your severed head. That's crazy disgusting.
We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support children of Vietnam. They're a nonprofit focused on wraparound services for low-income communities. They've provided over 4 million nutritious meals annually. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team, and we would also like to thank you guys for your continued support. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. Huge disclaimers for this case. I don't know why I always have to do these disclaimers for any other case that is outside of probably the Western nations. It's always the disclaimer of don't get racist. Like, just because there is one incident or one crime taking place in a country does not deem that country to be dangerous, does not deem that country to be off the travel list for tourists. It's one crazy person, a few crazy people. There are crazy people everywhere. Obviously, evidently, there are a lot in the United States. Another huge disclaimer is this episode is so graphic. There's no way around it. Please watch with extreme caution. In the interest of full disclosure, there are just in-depth descriptions of injuries as well as conversations of some very extreme interests that people have developed that revolve around self-exit. There are also elements of cannibalism. And at any given point during the research of this episode, we thought, okay, surely we have reached the rock bottom. Like, it's not going to get deeper from here. Then it would just progress into more depraved activities, and then it would just progress even more. So I would just be careful. And speaking of research for this case, none of this research would have been possible without a massive online anonymous group of internet detectives. They go by OSINT on Facebook and on Twitter. They have compiled a 100+ page dossier PDF document detailing every aspect of this case. That document was then translated into English, and it is a really well done investigative piece that I think is a pretty exhaustive overview of everything that has transpired thus far. And I would say they may be the only reason that this case got so much attention on a global scale, and perhaps they may be the only reason that there was an arrest made recently.
Wow.
Arrest was made.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's get into it. July 2025, a collection of 3 videos goes live, and each one of them is intentionally titled. It's a collection of 3 videos, and the collection seems to have, it appears to have been thought out, prepared, uploaded with the intention of being consumed by an audience. It almost feels like a trilogy Like it has some sick form of artistic expression embedded into it. You have to start with part 1, then 2, then 3. These are not standalones. When you click on the first video, it's about 3 minutes long. The camera angle is unflattering. It's unique. It's almost on the floor, angled upwards. If you were to prop your phone up behind, like put it on a book on the floor and then prop it upwards, you're looking up. It's very unflattering. No one's gonna look good from that angle. It's very much a homemade video. No edits, no intros, no color grading, no edited music. It's just a grainy phone camera. And it's 2 guys in an office. We don't get introductions. We don't know these people's names. We know nothing about these people. There's filing cabinets that take up 80% of the screen. They're not even lined up. No one thought, hey, before we start the video, let's just make it less crooked. It's completely misaligned. There are 3 depressing plastic houseplants on top of the filing cabinets. The only thing that's in view other than that is this wooden block just near the phone. So I guess it's on the ground. It's like a chopping block. And there are 2 guys standing on opposite sides of the screen. So you have a man on the left and you have a man on the right. On the left, you have a man wearing a blue-collared dress shirt and a pair of trousers. He looks like he came into work. This looks like an office, and he looks like an office worker. The only odd thing about him is the last 2 buttons on his shirt are either broken or just left unbuttoned. It looks a little messy. The shirt itself doesn't fit perfectly, so there is this weird feeling of like, is this guy's shirt? Is this a shirt that he's never worn before? Did he borrow this shirt? He looks maybe in his mid to late 30s, but the shirt is just so ill-fitting it doesn't make sense. He also looks very uncomfortable. On the right, you have a man wearing a dark athletic tracksuit with 3 neon yellow stripes running down the sides. So it looks like an Adidas tracksuit. The most notable thing about him, though, is that he's wearing an anonymous mask. The money heist mask.
Mustache.
Yes. Now, contrary to the other guy, the masked man's body language is very confident. He looks like he's in his element. Like he looks like he's been in this office for a lot longer. The masked man is messing around with some rope, and the office man kneels down right in front of the camera, in front of the wooden block. So he's facing the camera, facing the wooden block. And the masked man walks behind him, fussing with this rope. And it looks like he's tying the rope around the office man's ankles, and the office man is just letting this happen. He's not fighting back. He does look nervous, but he's not saying no, stop. He's not even trying to move away. He's just letting himself get tied up. He doesn't look like this is surprising.
Like no communication, no talking?
Yeah, I mean, at certain points, they do eventually start communicating in Vietnamese. It seems like they're just giving each other instructions. The office man that's getting tied up, he keeps closing his eyes and he keeps swallowing, and he does rub his Adam's apple a lot. At one point, he's just staring into the depths of our souls, into the camera, rubbing his neck. Now, this hand gesture, I was trying to figure out a way to precisely describe to you the feeling of it. It doesn't look like he's nervous and rubbing his neck. It almost looks like something is bothering him about his neck, where he's thinking about his neck in some way. It's not like the anxious, like, oh, I'm so stressed, I need to rub myself and self-soothe. It's like he keeps looking at his neck, extending his neck, touching his neck.
I see.
The masked man finally gets up and starts roughly unbuttoning office man's dress shirt from the back. The masked man is fumbling a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it's because he's nervous, but more so he's just got big fingers and maybe he's not used to it. He's unbuttoning the dress shirt. Office man's interactions and reactions are weird. He glances down and he almost like flinches at the sight of his own body. And then he keeps doing this thing where he closes his eyes and looks away, almost like, oh, I don't want to look, I don't want to look. It's weird. It's really difficult to read the expression on his face. He doesn't look scared, he doesn't look sad, he doesn't look contemplative, but once he's shirtless, he waits for the masked man to tie his arms up behind him. He looks briefly annoyed that it's taking so long. That's the feeling. He looks annoyed at the masked man. Like, why are you taking so long to tie my arms up? And then he just waits. He's closing his eyes, he's squinting down, he's looking at the camera, and then finally, the masked man slowly, gently pushes office man's head onto the wooden block, adjusts his head so his cheek is on the wooden block, and he's looking at the camera directly at us. Masked man grabs something off screen, and it's a giant meat cleaver. He brings it up into the air, right above office man's neck, and slams it down. And stops right before it makes contact. And then right, left, he starts doing a sawing motion. but just in the air, half an inch above Office Man's neck. Then he lifts it up once more, and then he brings it back down, stopping again, right before making contact.
Oh my God.
I don't know if there is like a viewfinder on the camera where Office Man can see what's going on, but he's looking towards the camera lens, almost looking at whoever is watching. He kind of closes one eye, like he's winking at us and he's like focusing, but the rest of his face, he doesn't seem to be having a good time. He doesn't look like he's enjoying this. He's just watching with this very contemplative look on his face as Masked Man over and over and over again just brings the meat cleaver up and then slams it down before making contact. He never touches him with the meat cleaver. He just does it again and again and again until finally the Office Man, still shirtless, he gets up, he's still on his knees, he lifts his head up from the chopping block. The Masked Man is standing right next to him, and he just leans his head against the Masked Man's stomach. And the Masked Man starts comforting him, kind of
just
rubs.
touching his head?
Yeah, kind of rubs his head, almost in like a little hug, and they embrace a little bit. And that's it. This Office Man is embracing the Masked Man who just 2 milliseconds ago was pretending to chop his head off. And they're kind of caressing each other, but I will say the way they caress each other does not feel familiar. It doesn't feel like two people who are very knowledgeable about each other's bodies, who have intimately been together. It just feels slightly awkward, which perhaps makes this entire situation even more strange. And then the video ends. That is the very first video in the trilogy. And it is titled Rehearsal. Rehearsal as in when you really want something to be done right, you do a practice beforehand, like a wedding rehearsal. Then what are they practicing for? The second video in the trilogy will be named The Execution.
Oh my God.
And this time, the meat cleaver will not stop before making contact. There will be no comfort, there will be no caressing because one of the two men will be dead. Which begs the question, this rehearsal video, is the Office Man being forced into filming it? Is this part of some sick murder where the victim has to practice being killed? Like how some people have to dig their own graves before they're killed? Does the Masked Man get off on this? Or is the victim performing a genuine practice round for his own murder? Have you ever seen something and you thought, okay, that's probably illegal? That's what I thought about most gore websites. I mean, it sure is a lot of things, but apparently illegal is not one of them, unless it crosses into the territories of involving children, terrorism, propaganda, or real life depictions of intentional homicide, like first-degree homicide. Technically, if you have a drunk driver killing someone on the street and you upload that as gore, a lot of that is going to be protected by protected speech. But if you have a knife-wielding man intentionally murdering someone, that is iffy territory.
Huh.
It falls into protected speech, which is why at one point there was this massive subreddit called r/Watch People Die, where you don't just watch someone die, you watch someone get mauled, crushed, exploded, disemboweled, and then die. And at least 500,000 people were subscribed to this subreddit. They wanted to, watch people die. They wanted to see criminal organizations skin people's faces off. So that was another weird thing. For some reason, just first-degree homicide, where you are in a room with someone, I guess decapitating them, that is considered typically illegal video. But if you were to film a terrorist organization skinning someone's face off, or like a cartel killing someone, that is typically protected speech.
Wait, why is that?
Nothing ever gets done about it. I guess you could argue it's political. I guess you could argue it's news. I don't know. Because you do see a lot of murder, but it's not the interpersonal murder that a lot of people think is the only way to kill someone, like a couple killing each other. It's always some sort of organization.
Right.
People like to see it. I mean, some people like to watch people die in explosions or being slowly crushed by a massive crane, or terrorist attacks from at least 50 different angles are on there. You can see everyone's faces pretty clearly, and it's very graphic. Nothing is censored. And in 2019, the subreddit gets banned. Interestingly, people were upset. They argued that the subreddit is bad. This is their argument. The subreddit is bad, but not as bad as other subreddits that actually radicalize people with hate. Some people say, hey, I was on that subreddit out of morbid curiosity, and I actually think that it helped save lives. Because some people would be on that subreddit and they would be planning some crazy violent things, but they would see violence in real life and not in a video game and not romanticized on movies, and they would see real depictions of violence and decide maybe that's not what they want anymore. Others say, no, I skipped all the terrorist videos. I would just watch the ones involving car accidents or work-related accidents because I'm a blue-collar worker and I feel like it's a good reminder once in a while to, you know, stay safe, not drink and drive. It just reminds you that you're blessed and you can have deep introspections about life while you watch somebody else get crushed by a cyber truck. That was the argument. I don't know if that argument is sound and valid. Some say it was more like a challenge, like a, you know, see if you can handle it. It's a little strange, but like, I just want to know if I'm capable of doing it. It does seem like there are levels to people who watch gore. You have the casual gore consumers, which I don't even know if you could call it that. It's probably everybody watching this video, myself included, in the sense of you see something blurred on Reddit, the accompanying post title is something graphic, and for some reason you're like, I really should not click on this, but why is it blurred? And I can see some of the shapes in the blurring, and now I feel like I need to see it, so then you quickly click unblur, and then you regret it for the rest of the week. That is the casual gore consumer.
I mean, it depends. I wonder if like the Charlie Kirk assassination falls into that, because I remember when this shit happened, I went on Twitter, Charlie Kirk dead, and I was just like, okay. And then there was a video, and you see, the video is relatively graphic because you see, you know, his head like, oh, and blood coming out of the hole. And I remember thinking like, oh, he got shot. He's probably in the hospital. I don't know why I was like, oh, he's probably in the hospital, you know? And then people were like, no, he died. I was like, oh. So that's a video of somebody dying. That felt very weird. Even though it doesn't matter whether you like him or not. Obviously, I did not like the man. But that shit was weird. I don't remember. I don't even know. Because I didn't think this was the video of his murder, it really did not register to me at first that it was actually him dying. Like, I deadass just thought he got shot and he was rushed to the hospital, but he lost too much blood. I don't know. But to know that he literally apparently was almost dead on impact, something like that, I was like, shit. I feel like it kind of hit me after it. I was like, oh damn, that's when he died. Like, we have this on video. Like, that's actually crazy. So yeah, but to actively seek out videos like this,
then you have the more seasoned gore consumer. They're subscribed to subreddits with gore. They will seek out gore. They'll think about it once in a while and they'll go Google it. Then from there, you start getting into very scary waters. People who need gore, who get off on gore, or a lot of the times the gore threshold starts getting elevated. They need more and more to reach whatever point that they're trying to get to, whatever thrilling point of ecstasy that they're trying to reach. These are people that are willing to pay and test the limits of the legal system for their pure consumption of gore. These are the types of people who would willingly join the forensics group. The forensics group is probably the least visually graphic of all of the groups on Telegram. Let me break it down for you. You have the regular group. This is a very famous Chinese Telegram group that Vice News infiltrated. The regular group and the premium access group. The premium access group has been around for 4 to 5 years. So that's the thing with Telegram group chats where you're sharing illegal videos, is that a lot of the times they'll disappear, they'll make a new one, they'll disappear, they'll make a new one. But if you already paid for one and then it disappears a month later, then you're shit out of luck. That money is wasted. Now you gotta go pay to join another group. So this premium access group, they brag about the fact that it's been up for 4 to 5 years. So it's very stable. That's how they market it. Stable premium access group. There's no reason to believe that that group will be shut down anytime soon. Then you have the Ice Love group. What's the Ice Love group? Anything related to dumping bodies, body detachments, necrophilia, that's in the Ice Love group.
Why is it called ice?
We don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. But if you want to skip out on all the blood, if you don't like all the gore and you just like dead bodies, the forensics group is where you want to go. It's, quote, pure, clean bodies, mainly mortuary footage. Welcome to an underground snuff film Telegram group in China. This is where the Vietnamese butcher videos start circulating in early 2025. Pay per view in the form of an extensive video package, photo package, 11 separate videos, 98 separate photos that you can either purchase limited access for around $100, or you can get the full package, unlimited access to all 11 videos, 98 photos for $600.
So you mentioned 3 videos. Right? They have more videos that they're posting. I see.
11 videos. It's not until 6 months later that the shortened videos, just 3 of them, start circulating online on a public website called Watch People Die. Not the subreddit, but there's a whole website where you can see things that your brain probably never will be able to forget. And then you'll have random thoughts of the imagery out of nowhere when you're trying to enjoy it like a nice sunny afternoon. That's that website. So they start posting 3 of them. The disclaimer on this website, watchpeopledie.tv, is when you enter, this website is exactly what it says in the name. This is not a pleasant website. The content is tragic things happening to real people with no filters. This is horrific to see and frankly should not be seen by anyone. However, it is legal and we believe in allowing it to be seen and shared by adults as a result. It goes up and the 3 videos, the first one being rehearsal we talked about, and the caption along with the videos, the 3, just reads, "Man has his very last before he dies." Then you click on part 2 of the trilogy, arguably the most viral part, the execution. So you have rehearsal, execution, and the 3rd installment is titled The Butchering. Execution, the 2nd video, starts in a bathroom, not the office, but a random bathroom. You start with the opposite angle as the first video. So instead of the phone camera being placed on the ground looking upwards, you have the camera looking downwards, getting a top-down view of this entire bathroom. The bathroom itself is not particularly a Zillow-worthy room. It's just a toilet on one side, a sink on the other side. There are tiled floors that look like they have not been cleaned in a very long time. There is a sheet of plastic tarp laid out, and the office man, it's the same man because he wasn't wearing a mask. We know this guy's face. He is laying on the plastic tarp and on his back, and the similar looking wooden chopping block is now underneath the back of his head. He's using it almost like a pillow.
So this is like a different date?
Looks like a different day. Could be later in the day, it's hard to tell because he's completely unclothed. He has not a single piece of clothing on him. We can't cross-reference with the pants or the dress shirt that he was wearing in the office. He's fully naked, flat on his back, laying down in this bathroom. And this time he doesn't look like he's contemplative or touching his neck or stressed or deep in thought. Instead, he is in the throes of ecstasy. He's like fully aggressively self-pleasuring. And right as he's about to get to where he has been working so diligently to get to, another man, who we can assume to be the masked man from the first video, comes into the frame fully nude as well. He brings up a similar meat cleaver from the first one, except this time the meat cleaver does not just hover over the office man's neck. It doesn't stop. Instead, it comes down with a clean chop at the office man's neck. Now, I don't know if it's the sharpness of the meat cleaver or the way that our bodies are built. The masked man has to make a few more precise, powerful chops before he then just takes it upon himself to fully drag and rip off,
Oh my gosh.
All the while, there's just like so much blood under the office man on the plastic tarp. It's incredibly graphic. The only saving grace, if there is any to any of this, is that the camera is further away. It's a top-down view, and if you really try to convince yourself, you may or may not be able to successfully convince your brain that this is just another horror movie. This is like a gory horror movie. This is CGI. This is not real blood. It's something else that's happening. But then the video cuts to another angle, and this time it's like a B cam. It's off in the corner, and it's like you're laying next to Office Man. And he's still alive. And it's a full replay, but from a close side-up angle, very close to the office man's face and neck. And you can see every single bit of it in replay. It almost feels slowed down, even when it's not, because of the graphic nature and just how up close things are. And then the camera goes back to the top angle, where you see the masked man that now people have dubbed the Butcher. And he starts dissecting the office man, cutting straight down the center vertically. And he just starts methodically disassembling a human body bit by bit, piece by piece. I mean, body parts are being taken apart like a Lego, just chunk by chunk. Organs are transferred into buckets that are put into like a water bath. Limbs are placed into pots. You can see pictures of small pale body parts arranged on plates with chopsticks resting on the side. There are other pictures showing full-on cooking. The creation of a human soup finished with healthy superfoods like goji berries, red dates. There's another dish that resembles curry. Part 3 is the butchering. It shows more in depth of the disassembly process. The private parts of the victim are arranged on a fresh, clean plate like a Thanksgiving dinner. The centerpiece is the decapitated head. At one point, the victim's private parts are inserted into the victim's head. It just, along with other general depraved acts. There are some people online who state that they saw a video of the butcher placing the victim's head into a boiling pot of water like a giant meatball. However, that video has not been widely circulated, so at this point it's debatable if it exists, but I don't think that it would be surprising if it did. The way that this victim is meticulously taken apart, and the way that even the execution is carried out, it does not feel like someone's first time, which makes people suspect initially that this butcher is a butcher. That turns out not to be true. So who the hell is this butcher? And who's the office man who is self-pleasuring before death? Who's the victim? What's happening? Is this even real, or is this like a fake video? It would not be the first time that a fake snuff film circulated, tricking the initial set of viewers online when it goes public of thinking that this is a real murder, which would make sense. I mean, considering there was a whole rehearsal video, like you have a table read before a movie filming. Maybe that is their acting before the big act. The collection of videos gets heavily studied by the internet, and they come to the conclusion that no matter how cynical, no matter how skeptical, there is no way that these videos are fake. These videos are very much real. There are all these other details that start getting noticed as people are combing through to even just verify that these videos are real. The minute that people start analyzing the footage for what it is, there are so many things that come up. Firstly, you can hear in the video pretty clear noises of motorcycles passing by, dogs barking, which would suggest that whatever is taking place in this bathroom, this is probably in a relatively busy area. It does not appear to be in the middle of nowhere. Are we to assume then that this is taking place in the middle of a busy residential neighborhood? One comment online reads, "I've watched this video over and over, and when I listen, I could hear the motorcycle was really loud, and it wasn't going slow either. It sounded like it echoed quite a bit. I think this is someone's house." Or maybe this is, I saw someone else online say that this was a restaurant owner and this is a restaurant bathroom, which would make sense because they would have big buckets and basins and iron tables and bowls and chopsticks. So is this happening in a restaurant in a busy city area? So far, the theories are that the butcher is either a real-life butcher or a restaurant owner. A restaurant owner would also make sense because they would be proficient in disassembling chunks of meat. But that means that people are under the impression that this is not the butcher's first time butchering large quantities of meat. Then you have another group of netizens that wonder, what if it's not the butcher's first time butchering humans? What if they're not proficient at butchering large animals, but what if they're just good at butchering humans? If that's the case, how many times have they done this before? And are they the only ones doing this? Like, are there others? One of the more distinguishing physical traits of the butcher, the whole time, a lot of the times he's naked, and he's wearing a face mask. So instead of the anonymous full face mask, he's wearing, one of those COVID face masks, a medical mask. And you can see a big part of his body. There is a tattoo on his arm, and it reads, "That day, 139.
What does that mean? Do we know?
Is that just a random number? Is that some sort of initiation? Is that some sort of code? Perhaps that's the day that he's initiated into this line of work, when this life begins for him. Some say it's shorthand for 13K, which 13K somehow relates to the price of butchered pigs on Vietnamese social media. So perhaps he is a real-life pig farmer, pig butcher. Others say this could be an identifying number for his videos. If this video has been circulating on Telegram group chats, and there's an organization of people who kill people and create snuff film video content, how do you know who's the killer in each one? Because they need to get paid. So this tattoo, 139, maybe he's killer 139, 139. Because this could just be a giant snuff film ring that the internet just uncovered.
Wow.
There is something so exciting about January, that spark of ambition that you have been carrying for months and maybe years. That business idea that keeps you up at night and you're like, oh, this is such a good idea, but someone's probably going to do it first. You should just do it now. And the most powerful decision you can make is launching your business with Shopify. Shopify delivers a complete...
Oh, if you want to see the
Your
code.
future is waiting. Make 2026 the year that you claim it. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/rotten. Go to shopify.com/rotten. That's shopify.com/rotten. Hear the sound of your first sale this new year with Shopify by your side.
Oh boy.
A very strong argument could be made that one of the most disturbing ways to start a book is you flip open the page and the main character is talking in depth about how she watches JFK's assassination footage over and over and watches the part where Jackie Kennedy is having the worst day of her life, scrambling to pick up the pieces of her husband, and how the main character thinks about this every day in order to reach the pinnacle of pleasure. Like, that would be a really good argument if you told me that is the worst way to start a book. I would not argue with you. That's precisely how the Japanese manga Applicant for Death starts. Main girl spends multiple pages describing how much she likes the idea of basically being murdered. At one point, another woman appears. I don't know who this woman is, but she starts rehearsing how it will be done. And the main girl reaches the point of sheer happiness that none of us could probably relate to. And eventually she is shot, but she's still alive. And she is playing with her brain matter while the other woman is playing with other things, and she reaches her destination before finally arriving to the point of no return: death. However, that is where the video ends and the manga cuts to a guy watching the computer screen. He's getting off on this. And the female executioner tells the audience, and she's breaking the fourth wall mid-murder, "We only sell the rest of the footage to people who can keep quiet and pay enough. We'll check up on you. Even if you order, we'll just send you a generic video. This video is not for sale to the general public."
Wait, I'm so sorry. We're still in the manga right now? So in the manga, a guy is watching this girl doing all of this on his computer screen. And in his computer screen, they're talking to each other. So it's okay. Wow.
And the guy behind the computer screen is getting frustrated because he wants to see the rest of the video. But the female executioner continues, "Depending on the results of our investigation, we may give it to other people free of charge." She continues that the people in the video are not leaving this world because of illness or pain or debt. They're doing it for pleasure, for desire. She says, "We can give you the experience you long for. I'm waiting for your call." And the guy starts fantasizing about it. And it's somehow his sister gets involved, who they start having relations. And then eventually he calls the executioner to come and kill him. And he just, the whole setup is he wants his sister to watch him die. And he's going to have intimate relations with the female executioner. And right as he's reaching that point, his sister, who is on standby with a giant sword, is going to cut his head off. And this manga and the rules of human anatomy and the limitations of modern medicine do not apply, because once his head is cut off, he's still alive. So he's like watching his body still finish relations with this female executioner, and then his sister decides that she's going to have relations with his body, and the female executioner is now holding the sword and then kills his sister. And so now she places the brother's head and the sister's head next to each other, apart from their bodies, and their bodies are still doing things, and the heads are making out. This is like a 40-page manga. I didn't know so much could happen in 40 pages. It started progressing into more and more alarming territory, and to my amazement, it never ceased to just stop being disturbing. This was translated into English. This was also translated into Vietnamese. And we know this because there's an online content forum that primarily focuses on posting brutal sexual content. And it had posted, "Applicant for Death. The manga gets translated from Japanese into Vietnamese." And the poster writes, "Translated per the request of Mr. Dat, D-A-T, beheading. The internet will soon uncover that Mr. Dat Beheading is the office man in the Vietnamese butcher videos, the one who was killed." So he specifically asked for this Japanese manga to be translated into Vietnamese.
Okay. Do we know if it's real? That was a real thing before this whole thing blew up. I see. So people went to the backlog and found this history.
He has an extensive history we're going to get into. And I think a lot of that begs this big question in this case that I don't necessarily think is a question, but a lot of people have posed it, which is, what exactly are we allowed to give consent to? What if someone wants to remove their leg in a safe manner? There is a real condition called BID. It's where someone with healthy limbs feels a profound feeling and belief that they need to amputate, typically a leg or both legs or perhaps an arm, in order to feel whole. They feel that these limbs are healthy, yes, but they're foreign. And every second that they live with this foreign limb, it drives them insane. But you can't just amputate your leg in the kitchen and hope for the best, which is where the debate comes in. How much are we allowed to have control over our own bodies? How much are we allowed to go to a doctor and say, "Can you please cut off my leg?" Can you consent to that? Can the doctor do it? Do the rules apply? But the doctor is not supposed to cause harm, and objectively, they could argue that this would be causing harm to your life, but you could argue, no, in fact, having this leg is causing harm to my life. There's a lot of debate on this. I mean, it's a very rare condition, so the debate is not extensive. I will say some really messed up people have extended this debate to include transgender community members. I don't think that applies. For this, it's specifically, there is a huge argument of, well, if you lose a leg and you choose to amputate your leg, then you are now viable for disability checks. Now the taxpayers are paying for something that you have to live with for the rest of your life, and you have to continue getting probably in-house care for an extended period of time. So there's like all this debate along with that. There's just a lot in that. It's completely separate from any other debate. It's just that. How much can you be in control of your own body, and to what extent? And then how can you say it stops there? What if you take it a step further? What if you just don't even want your leg to be gone? You want someone to eat it, and you consent to it, and you find someone who also consents to eating it. Is that a crime? What if in a hypothetical world, there are no quote unquote victims? You sign a waiver that you will never sign up for disability checks. You sign a waiver that you will never ask the government or the community members for assistance. And you consent that no one will ever see this footage. No one will ever know what happens. You are privately in your own personal home. You cut off a piece of your thigh and you give it to your beloved significant other for them to consume for dinner. Is there a crime that is committed? Yes or no? Because is there a victim? Can you have a victimless crime? That is the whole debate, and we can probably go on for the next 24, 48 hours, the next 5 business days, and I don't know if everyone is going to come to an agreement. Right. There is a post on an online forum, though, where you can ask people to solve your life's biggest problems. The post reads, how long does it take to fatten a long pig? Months? Years? I'm interested in fattening a long pig. Right now, 125 pounds to eat. How much should I fatten her for the best eating? And what do I use to fatten her? I didn't know this, but apparently some Europeans call humans long pigs because we are longer than a pig, but we apparently taste like pork. Humans. That post was on the now defunct Cannibal Cafe forum, which I'm sure if you've been interested in any sort of true crime cases for a while, you know about the very infamous Cannibal Cafe case of the German cannibal who murdered and killed his victim to be eaten. I mean, this is a forum where half the people want to be eaten and the other half are very, very hungry. Another post reads, anyone need a blonde girl for the main course dish to eat? See my email and write. I will show you my delicious meat. Another one rants about how men just aren't cannibals anymore. The post reads, looks like these aren't real cannibals on here. The kind of cannibal that would actually go for a hunt for a female captive to capture and prepare and roast and eventually eat. Probably some male cannibal wannabes on here, but they're held down by the leashes of their wives and kids and girlfriends. The website Cannibal Cafe is now down after, like I said, the very famous German cannibal murdered and cannibalized his victim in 2001. That's where they met. But one would have to assume that this has to be a very small portion of the population that's interested in this. But it's a lot more than you would think. One post on Reddit reads, I'm a girl with cannibalism fetish. Ask me anything. The top comment is, so is it you eating other humans or being eaten by other humans or both? She responds, good question. It's primarily me eating other people. The idea of other people eating me is pretty unsettling. Or I'll oftentimes fantasize about feeding my boyfriend to other people, and occasionally it'll be me cutting off his limbs and forcing him to eat his own limbs. God damn it, he's probably gonna read all of this. On a separate Reddit thread, someone writes, I get the idea of someone wanting to eat human flesh as a specialized interest, like a fantasy, imagination. I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't get it, but I get it. Quote, I understand the appeal. Like, I don't like it, but I get where it's coming from, just like any other crazy thing, okay? So anyway, I made a post about cannibalism some time ago. I deleted it, but I got a DM from a really weird guy, and he somehow assumed that I had a cannibalism fetish from the post, which I don't have. And he said to me something like, he's so unlucky because none of the women he meets likes cannibalism, and he would be willing to travel to me to be cooked in an oven and be eaten by me. He even described how he wants to be served and what foods he wants to be paired with. He said that he wants to be a human pig and cooked like a pig. He eventually started sending me pictures. I didn't even want to look at all of them because I was disgusted. Anyway, is that not fucking weird? I just don't get what could be the possible motivation or appeal of being eaten. That is a post on Reddit. One response puts it pretty simply. It's just about being predator and prey. That's it. But that doesn't stop people from looking into this Vietnamese butcher case. Like I said, the Facebook group called OSINT in Cyber Investigations in Vietnam, they kickstart this entire investigation. And the only other clear indicator in these videos that made public was that it was most likely filmed in Vietnam. The language being spoken is Vietnamese between the victim and the butcher. And they take it upon themselves, this Facebook group, to investigate. At this point, the police are not investigating. Nobody is except OSINT. And they're the ones that released this 100-page document into the whole world that's translated into English. So the first order of business is finding who the victim is. That's probably easier because somebody is gone. That means there must be others who are looking for that person, posting missing persons flyers. It's harder to find a killer. It's easier to find a missing loved one.
His face is out there, right?
Yeah, that's the logic. So OSINT starts looking into forums in Vietnam that have to do with wanting to be consumed, wanting to be killed. Yes, they went through the missing persons thing. They didn't find him. No one was actively searching for him. So they start going into these beheading forums with extreme interest. And in one of them, they find someone that looks like the victim. And he gives his phone number. And using that phone number, they're able to find different accounts on different platforms. And one even lists his birthday as March 10th, 1989.
Whoa.
So now we know that this victim is 36 years old, which tracks with his appearance in the videos. And all of his accounts have some variation of the username DAT, DAT, and beheading. And out of all the websites that we've talked about in this episode, Motherless is probably one of the worst ones. You can't even link Motherless on Reddit. It's banned. It's not just a shitty place to go. There's speculation that because of the sheer amount of illegal content that was allegedly posted on there, that the FBI actually uses it as a honeypot, meaning the feds are most likely monitoring it, and anyone who visits too often and searching the very specific videos are potentially being tracked by the feds. It has been uncovered that the victim had a Motherless account where he would share a bunch of photos and videos that revolve around the themes of cannibalism and being beheaded. AI-generated clips of hooded, masked men tying up women and using sharp objects on them to eat them. And from there, the online detectives just continue to dig and they find out the victim's full name is Nguyen Xuan Dat. So Dat is DAT. So it's not like in English where it's like that beheading, but instead of THAT, you use DAT. It's just part of his name.
Wow.
But Nguyen is what we're going to call him. Nguyen goes on to create multiple different accounts to join forums to talk about this final fantasy where he is going to be beheaded. A lot of his accounts were created back in 2019, so this is like a 6-year endeavor that he's been on. One of his accounts just read, "I love beheading. I also want to lose my head with an axe or a sword." And there's also indications that this probably was way before 2019 his interest started. There was this online group called Girls Beheading Lover, and they post in 2018, "Anybody like role-playing about beheadings? Inbox me, only girls." Nguyen responds, "Can you connect with me? Are you a male or a female? I'm a male, but I want to have my head beheaded by a female executioner." Nguyen responds to another post in 2022 that reads, "Is anyone in Hanoi interested in the topic of beheading? Looking to chat with someone about it. If interested, please inbox me." Another person responds to that post, "I want to die, seriously." Nguyen responds, "Are you for real? If so, please inbox me to discuss." It would not be an over-exaggeration to say that Nguyen seems obsessed with the idea of being beheaded and killed. He even requested the Applicant for Death manga to be translated into Vietnamese. I mean, this manga is very interesting because it could more or less, the fantasy that the victim ultimately settles on feels very reminiscent of this manga. Even having the head pulled and then placed to watch the rest of the body kind of mirrors the manga.
By the way, you say one of the person online posted say, "I wanted to die," and he responded, "Oh, please email me."
Yeah.
So he's interested in...
No, he's only interested in being the victim, but he likes to connect with people with like minds so that they can talk about their fantasy together. And a lot of the reason that this case gained traction in uncovering details was friends of Nguyen, online friends who had similar interest, would share messages that they had with Nguyen. Like one from 2023, his post reads, "Offering my head, but no one is taking it." And then the next year in 2024, he posts again, "Offering my head, waiting for someone to take it." So for years, since at least 2019, he has been begging for someone to partake in this final fantasy of his. But it's not until January of 2025, this year, he gets someone, last year, he gets someone to do what he's hoping for. Wen posts on Facebook, 3 hours left until the execution. So yes, the internet, the netizens, they find the victim, but that's not enough. They need to find the killer because the killer could be finding their next victim. They could be doing this for money. There could be multiple people who have gone missing that nobody is looking for that they have done the same exact thing to. So even though they found Wen, they still have no idea who the masked man, who the butcher is, and they need to comb through all the evidence. He's wearing a blue face mask in this photo where he's holding up Wen's head, severed head in the mirror. And you can see his eyes, eyebrows, his forehead that's showing. He looks middle-aged. He clearly has a receding hairline. He has distinct scars on his eyebrow area that netizens have pinpointed, analyzed, stared at, studied. He's also shirtless. You see that a good chunk of his torso, he has a very stocky build. He's got a birthmark that goes near his armpit on one arm. Then on the other arm, you have that tattoo, the distinctive, that day 139. That's it. How are they gonna find the butcher with just that? And they need to find him quick because it seems like the butcher has taken over Wen's account on Facebook and is looking for new victims. Is now messaging Wen's friends who have shared interests, asking them questions about their fantasies.
Oh, so now he's active.
He's active.
On Wen's account?
Yes.
Huh.
And other people are coming forward saying, hey, yes, Wen had this fantasy, but he was not doing well. Like he was clearly a victim. One alleged friend of Wen's, we're gonna call them friend number 1, posted a screenshot of messages that they had with Wen before his passing. And Wen is messaging, not only am I ugly, but I'm also full of diseases. I can't afford to live freely like a normal person. I have to depend on my parents for the rest of my life. I mean, I'm completely useless. What other choice do I have? I truly am a prisoner of my own fate. If it wasn't because of God, I would have met the end already. I just want to meet someone that once we become close enough, they would just kill me. Wen writes again, I want to meet someone who can f me and then kill me right after. Which has netizens thinking, at this point, the butcher should have just helped Wen. Instead of killing him, he should have just gotten him help. But the most interesting thing to come out of this, the most valuable piece of information, is people start messaging this person asking for more information about Wen. Like, if you were that close with Wen, can you tell us anything else? And they state, well, Wen was pretty normal. We only met once, maybe for like 30 minutes. Really? When was that you guys met? Was it a long time ago? He just was spending the 30 minutes to talk about how he liked having group activities with other men. He showed me a video of himself performing oral on a man. I mean, I can say this though, Wen's fetish for wanting to be beheaded is very real. But the most valuable piece of information is this anonymous friend tells the OSINT, the online investigators, I know the name of the butcher. He goes by the name Chung.
Wow.
C-H-U-N-G. And as the investigators are getting closer to figuring out who the butcher is, a post pops up on their Facebook group. I am the executioner. Who can catch me? Then another post from a different account. So now this is a different account and it's a picture of someone's meal and it appears to be a plate of meat and some soup and some noodles. Come on, it's just a few pieces of human meat. It's unclear if this is real human meat. It's unclear if anything, but within an hour of this picture going up, it gets taken down. So is this really the butcher? Is the butcher scared? The netizens, are they getting closer to figuring out who the butcher is so they're freaking out? So in the final installment of the snuff film trilogy titled Butchering, it looks like it's being filmed in a kitchen. And on one side, you have half of a plastic water bottle. It's called La Vie. So at this point, the online netizens are like, we know for sure this is happening in Vietnam. These are not Vietnamese like diaspora in other parts of the world because yes, in the video they're speaking Vietnamese, but that doesn't mean that they have to live in Vietnam. I can speak Korean, but I'm in the United States. But this water bottle is specifically sold in Vietnam. So they're like, okay, this is happening in Vietnam. But also on top of that, they find like these very mundane little trivial, inconsequential pieces of items. There's a bottle of dish soap. The netizens have discovered that this is really only sold in the northern area of Vietnam. How do they know this? Because the dish soap is Chinese. It's like a very cheap Chinese brand, and the northern part of Vietnam borders China. So they really only sell this in that area. Because they have Vietnamese dish soap in all the other areas.
Yeah.
So this is like very easy to bring across the border, or like people will go up there and buy it and then bring it back. So they're like, this is definitely only on the northern part of Vietnam. So people start pinpointing it down that way. Okay, so not only is it just Vietnam, it's on the northern part of Vietnam. And then we've got all of these things in the kitchen. So the kitchen doors are this weird avocado green color that's very specific and unique. I mean, there's got to be something. So as they're hunting that down, another YouTube channel pops up. They have been investigating this diligently from the very beginning. They're called Ketomo, which translates to the curious one. They went as far to try and reconstruct the scene of the crime. But because with the suspected homicide taking place in January of this year, with videos being circulated later in July, and then just radio silence, a lot of people thought that this was almost like an urban legend. It's just gonna go down as one of those internet things we never get the answer to. But he somehow is able to track, and he says, I think I know who the butcher is. And he posts a picture of who he believes is the butcher. So this is a picture that he got on someone's personal Facebook account, and he photoshopped a mask on and then compared it to the butchering video. And it looks like the same person. It looks like the same person, but this is where it's weird. It looks like the same person, does not feel like the same person. Clearly, in the one that was from his personal Facebook page, his face is relaxed. He looks like a happy guy. In the other one, he looks like a killer, but you can see the facial features, they're all very similar. The smile lines, the eye shape, the eyebrows, the scar above his eyebrow, everything feels exactly the same. Now, the curious one, the YouTuber, releases a statement that he's going to be withdrawing from this investigation and that the perpetrator is in a high position of power. And just know that if anything happens to this YouTuber, every single piece of information that he's dug up, he's got like a kill switch, if you will. It's gonna go public.
Wait, so he dropped this high power individual's identity basically?
Just photo.
But with that photo, you can find out who he is, wouldn't it?
Yes. More importantly, he drops a screenshot of the individual's social media account and he blurs out the name, but people are very easily able to unblur it. And the username is Tan Chung 11111. Chung. People start cross-referencing that username with all the different social media platforms, and they find a lot. The two of them, Wen and the Butcher, seem to have crossed paths on a gay group chat called Likes Beheading. Wen is really active in the chat, saying things like, I want to be beheaded, I volunteer to be beheaded. There's additionally a supposed leak message thread between Wen and a friend of his, where Wen sends them a picture of his head on a chopping board. He's alive. And he writes, I'm ready, waiting for the time. His friend responds, who's gonna do it? Chung? No, another person. Why don't you just let Chung do it? Waiting around for Chung is difficult. What do you mean? He agreed, but he keeps pushing and delaying the time. The potential suspect, the butcher, their social media history is also pretty extensive. It's also very interesting to see how somebody's interest and taste evolve over time. It starts off with scatology, which is a pretty high entrance for specialized interests, but there's a post that reads, anyone here eat shit in the game? You want to be the shit eater or the shit maker? To which the suspected butcher responds, the shit maker. In 2022, the suspected butcher posts pictures on a forum showing dismembered pieces of a body. He claims that this is just like a scary themed horror post. This is just to get everyone to toughen up through the usage of gore, but it's not real. However, it is theorized now that this could very well be a victim before Wen. He also continues to post pictures of what appears to be men's private parts that have been taken off the body. One of them is delicately spray painted in gold. It's unclear if this is like an artistic piece that he found, if he made it, or if this is a real human body part that he's used to create this. He likes a ton of other posts that have to do with eating meat and specifically the purchasing of dismembered male private parts. He's buying them, he's selling them, and I don't know.
Like dark web?
No, just like on Twitter. On these
Twitter?
forums. I mean, people will write things like, I need to castrate myself. I need money. How much for all my privates? And he'll say, DM me. I want it all. I want to eat it so bad. Now, I don't know if this is some sort of role play that's happening on social media. If people are just engaging in this stranger to stranger fake fantasy land, or if he truly is purchasing a lot of these male body parts. I wouldn't be surprised, judging by the fact that somebody is dead and somebody was killed on camera, but it's just very strange how there is a large community of people doing this. It's not even just one person, and it's not even on the down low. These are just out and about on regular, publicly accessible forums talking about how they want to purchase sometimes 1 ball, 2 balls, the whole set. He also talks about how he wants hands and feet stewed with bamboo shoots and a male body part stewed with lemongrass and chili. And the way that he writes about it, it seems like he's talking about food that he's eaten before. It doesn't seem like, oh, let me use my imagination. I think this would taste good. The answers and responses to these inappropriate messages online seem very firm and confident, as if this is his favorite dish. Other times, he just gets straight to the point. There will be people posting inappropriate videos, and I didn't click on them because I was scared of the links, but they seem to be inappropriate videos. I don't know if there's cannibalism in the topic of the video, but they seem like your run-of-the-mill, inappropriate, X-rated videos, and he's just DMing these creators, I want to kill you so bad. I really want to kill you. So at this point, people start digging and digging and digging, and they find other accounts that are related to Tan Chung, and they realize that Tan Chung is a young kid, a kid in his 20s, a kid to wealthy parents. There's a picture of him sitting on a sidewalk in front of his family-owned red Mercedes, but more importantly, this kid is wearing a distinct athletic tracksuit with yellow stripes going down the sides, exactly like the one from the rehearsal video.
Wait, but in the rehearsal video, it wasn't a young kid, was it?
I mean, the whole face is covered up, but I will say that they seem a lot more stocky in the video, but maybe this young kid just edits his photos. But the frustrating part is, in the other two videos, the execution and the butchering, you can clearly see that this is a middle-aged man. This kid is clearly not middle-aged, so how can they be the same person? But if it's not the same person, how are there so many similarities? Someone drives by the house that Tan Chung apparently lives in, this 23-year-old, and they take pictures as they're driving by. And right outside, you see a pair of slippers outside the front door. The butcher is seen in the video wearing the exact same slippers. I mean, maybe it's a very common pair of slippers, but still, all of this is just a growing list of coincidences. But still, it doesn't answer the fact that there's no way that a 20-something-year-old is also a middle-aged man at the same time. OSINT does more digging, and they notice that with every platform that Tan Chung is on, there is another account that is always closely associated. And it's not like they're always interacting, but they're always following each other on every platform. Doan Seng. They go to Doan Seng's account. This is a middle-aged man with a scar above his eyebrow and a big birthmark on his arm. Doan Seng resembles the butcher, at least to the best of netizen knowledge. So how is it that everyone originally thought that Tan Chung was the butcher? Are there two butchers? Is this like a whole operation with multiple people involved? If you go to Tan Chung's profile, you'll see that he was born September 13th, 2002. Everywhere else in the world, they do day, month, year.
That's his dad.
Yes. 13th of September would be 139. The tattoo on the butcher is that day. 23-year-old Tan Chung is not the butcher. His dad is. And his dad has been using his son's name to create online profiles to join these group chats where they fantasize about killing and eating people. It's the dad.
Wow. So, but is the son a part of it? Does he...
The son does not appear to be a part of it in any way. It seems like he found out after the fact. And after the fact, it seems he's on his dad's side. Whether he believes that his dad is innocent, whether he believes, well, the victim asked for it and my dad was just doing what he asked for, why is that such a big deal? I don't know what his mentality is, but it does seem from very limited evidence on social media of him reposting like memes that he is in some support of his dad.
So the dad's wearing his son's clothes?
It seems like they share clothes.
Bro.
Huh.
And the dad is not just a random person. He is the former deputy head of Market Management Department number 4, which sounds like he works at a supermarket, but it's not. This is basically a huge government entity that enforces and inspects all of the commercial activities in a local area. It's a business department of an entire community. This man has a wife, he has 2 sons. I wouldn't go as far to say that he's a great dad, even if I didn't know of this crime. If he has a cup in his kitchen that reads, "Best Dad in the World," that cup is a liar. He seems normal, but he's just, like on his personal account, he posts a picture of abalone porridge. But the piece of abalone, which, if you guys know abalone, it's like a shellfish where it's really good for you. It has a lot of health benefits, but it's like maybe 2 fingers and it's slimy. It's like a giant mussel, like a clam, like a giant clam, a giant mussel, but definitely thicker and chewier in texture, but just look-wise if you haven't seen what abalone looks like. However, like a mussel, all the sides are flat. They're smooth, they're flat, and then the edges, they have like the mussel texture with like the ridges that come up and get a little chewy. But this one, the the side is not flat. It has an opening that is very reminiscent of a female body part. Now, some people have mentioned that abalone in general does resemble female body parts, but this, when you see it, I mean, this doesn't resemble an abalone. Perhaps abalone looks different in different parts of the world. Perhaps this is a faulty abalone or someone who messed with an abalone to make it resemble a detached female body part. I don't know. I saw the picture of it.
So he posted on Facebook. Yeah. And he titled it Abalone Porridge, or he just posted that photo?
Just posted the photo. And it's, I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine that he would post it if it was a crime. But then again, I don't know. On his own personal account, he was posting the gold male private parts that looked somewhat artistic.
Right. So, okay. So he's pretty blatant about this.
Yes. He's also just not a family guy. He posted a whole biography of a Japanese adult actress talking about her childhood and then how she gets recruited into the industry, just everything about her. I mean, this is a dad and a man who works for the government. He's actually retired earlier last year in 2025, but it was that he was still working in January. And this is very important. Once people find out that it's the dad, they start going through all of his personal accounts, and he has a ton of those like old people videos where they're just
so far everything you said is like real-time discovery in the last few months by the internet.
Yes, the police are not investigating
until like everything was crystal clear. The police came in.
Not even was it just crystal clear, it became so crystal clear, and this man is in a government position working as the deputy head of market management. There was outrage. I feel like the arrest only happened because people were able to figure out this is a government official, and people were super pissed about it. Had it not been, I don't know if an arrest would have been made.
Because you were saying like when this came out, there was a lot of suppressing, right? Like nobody can even talk about it publicly. Wow.
And then I think that some people, I will say that there were a lot of ignorant non-Vietnamese people who probably added to it, which I think a lot of people were suppressed and could not talk about it. And then I think the people that did want to talk about it, a lot of Westerners would be like, this is why you can't go to Vietnam. Because, I don't know, we're dumb over here.
I see.
So then it just made it all worse. It's like, I don't know. Have you ever read the news in America? We're not doing so hot. Maybe we should worry about our own problems before saying stuff like that. But you get the idea. Now, the rehearsal video, it was filmed in some sort of office. And this is very important because all of this, people were able to cross-check, and they realized that all the butchering videos happened inside of government buildings, the offices in which he was working, the rehearsal video, even the misalignment of the cabinets. It's in the background of one of his own personal photos that he was filming outside of the office. The kitchen is part of a government building. The green avocado shutter doors, the kitchen tiles with the white and the blue little clover designs, that is all a government building. The bathroom is a government building.
How does he have no fear of, you know, he posts these on Facebook and then he's doing this whole operation inside?
I guess he thought that these photos and videos would only circulate on Telegram, which at that point, if your coworker is on Telegram purchasing these videos, then maybe you just find a friend in the game. You don't find someone who's going to rat you out.
It's impossible for him to be this ballsy if this is his first time doing something like this.
No, that's
what makes it even worse is it was timed to perfection. It seems that Wen is murdered near the end of January 25th, 2025 to be exact. That would be the perfect window of opportunity because Lunar New Year is January 26th, 2025. There is a 7 to 10 day holiday in Vietnam and a lot of Asia where nobody goes into the office. The office would have been completely deserted.
Wow.
So with that, November 28th, an arrest is finally made. The believed butcher Do An Sang is arrested. Authorities allegedly find bone fragments in pipes and drains, 3 teeth found under the sink. But more importantly, he just confesses. He ends up admitting to what he's done. He manages to be a victim blamer the entire way through. He states that he met Wen online, and Wen is the one that gets him wrapped up in all this dark stuff. That Wen repeatedly gets him introduced into beheadings and all of this dark interest of extreme groups, which he naturally did not want. He said he was repulsed by it, but Wen kept asking him, and finally it's Wen that convinces him to commit these atrocious acts against Wen. But after Wen, he does the very normal, common sense thing of separating the body into bones, flesh, and organs. He boils the parts to help with decomposition and odor. For the bones, he smashes them, pulverizes them, and for the flesh, he places them into 10 plastic bags and then feeds them to wild dogs, stray dogs. As for the meat cleavers that he used, he got rid of them. And he still tries to play this all off as if this is his first time and he was just convinced into doing this by Wen.
Okay.
Wow.
And as for Wen, netizens were able to find which village he was from, and they called the village head. They do confirm that there was a guy with the same name, same age. A few years ago, his dad passed away and he ran away from the village. His mom has really severe mental health struggles, and that seems to be why no one has been looking for him. And it seems like that is where we are with the Vietnamese butcher case. I think it's crazy that none of this would have been discovered without netizens. I think the fact that this was just posted on not even like the dark web is so unsettling. But what are your thoughts? Have you guys heard of this case before?
Nope.
Let me know in the comments.
I don't know. Do you think they're going to find out more histories of him, or this is probably the only case they're going to be?
I would not doubt that there are more victims. I don't think they're going to look.
Honestly, yeah.
What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well, shit. The only thing left to do for my eye look is to put lashes, which will make my eye look make sense. Because right now it looks kind of weird. And other than that, I'm kind of almost done. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go eat. And then I'm going to come back to play Watcher of Realm. And when I'm done with Watcher of Realm, I'm going to play a new game called Nobody Wants to Die, which I guess is on brand. But yeah, as far as this Get Ready With Me stream is concerned, it's over. If you want to see the finished look, come back later. Other than that, thank you for watching. It was kind of traumatizing. Take care of your mental health, guys. That's what this case is teaching me. Take care of your mental health and take care of yourself, and make sure that you have a support group. All right. That's pretty much that. Peace.